Group and find out how we can help get you the compensation you deserve. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. 877-42-LIBERTY. Liberty Law Group. Trial attorneys you can trust.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just their professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, their passion for happier, healthier, furry friends.
Big Brothers Big Sisters is bringing back Bowl for Kids' Sake. Create a team, raise donations, and join the bowling celebration at Sun Valley Lanes and Games on May 2nd. Every contribution helps to create and support one-to-one mentoring relationships for Lincoln's young people. Learn more and register today at bbbsmidlands.org under the Events tab. Big Brothers Big Sisters, igniting the power and promise of Lincoln's youth for over 50 years.
Life changes, and sometimes that means changing where you call home. Whether you're downsizing, growing your family, relocating, or facing tough times, you shouldn't navigate it alone. I'm Laura Bonta-Bush with Woods Rose Realty, and I'm here to guide you with all your real estate needs. As wife of football coach Bill Bush, I understand the importance of teamwork and making sure you are supported every step of the way with honesty, integrity, and compassion. If you're looking for a game plan to buy or sell your home, text the word HOME to 402-534-1919. That's HOME to 402-534-1919.
Advanced Medical Imaging is the largest radiology group in Nebraska, located in Lincoln at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard. At Advanced Medical Imaging, they utilize state-of-the-art technology and blend it together with their compassionate, skilled team to guide you through every step. Whether it's an MRI, CT scan, or X-ray, their precise diagnostics help your doctor deliver the best care plan for you. Choose clarity and comfort in your life by choosing Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard and online at amimaging.com.
Bagels and Joe is the best place to start off your mornings, and you can order your breakfast ahead of time on their app. You can't go wrong with one of their great bagel sandwiches or breakfast burritos. Stop by any of their 4 locations in Lincoln and their location in Seward. Bagels and Joe.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
What's up, y'all? Long time no chat. Welcome to some Husker games, Husker conversations here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. I'm Austin Norman. I'll be with you for the next hour or so. We'll rotate through a merry band of misfits, a cast of characters, if you will. I'll be with you for the next hour. We'll have Jake Sorensen after that, Nick Sainert, and then Bach DP. I'm sure we'll pop in, pop out as it is appropriate. But we want you to pop in, pop out of the show as is appropriate for you as well. 402-464-5685. Be a part of the conversation. If there's something Huskers related on your mind, I'd love to hear about it. I would love to dive into it. I would love to discuss it with you. Again, 402-464-5685. That's the number to our Sartor Heyman Jewelers text line. You can also drop a comment on our streams brought to you by Sartor Heyman Jewelers. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter up and running for you, as is Allo Channel 961. What a weekend. What a day. Let me know if you were at the Husker garage sale, essentially. Did you snag any merch? Did you snag any gear? Shoot me a picture. Let me know what you got. Did you wait in line? Did you go home with what you wanted? Or did you wait in line only for everything to be picked over? I think that's one of those very simple, very neat ideas that it's kind of surprising Nebraska hadn't, taken part in before. I mean, what an easy way to, dare I say, make some money, but that's goodwill among fans, right? Looking at the prices of things and what they had available, I think that's a pretty darn good opportunity for fans to get their hands on some Husker gear, not knockoff, not fake. the actual brand name, the actual, sometimes game used equipment and gear. I think that's a really cool idea from the Huskers to be able to put that on. I hope you got what you wanted. If not, I hope Nebraska brings this back. I think it's a really fun idea. I was talking to DP about this before coming on air here. Said there are people in line starting at 4 o'clock this morning for their chance to get their hands on some Husker merch. DP said he got there around about 7, and there were about 700 people in front of him and probably another 700 people behind him by the time it was all said and done. That's crazy. I think the Huskers official account posted something. Husker Nation shows up, the line to the garage sale. I know it's not garage sale. It's just what I'm gonna keep referring to it as, because that's essentially what it is. But I still think that's just a really neat idea. Lots going on today. You get the football game coming up here in about an hour. Then you have the soccer game at Hibner before the volleyball match against Kansas tonight. I want to dive into the football side of things first, for those of you who might not know what the schedule looks like. So before the first quarter of the scrimmage, there will be the specialist competition. That includes the field goal face-off, the pin 'em deep punter challenge, and the long snapper showdown. In the field goal face-off, it'll be Tristan Alvano on one side, Nico Ottaminelli, and assistant Brett Maher. Not assistant coach, just kind of special assistant analyst type of role for Brett Maher. So it'll be Tristan Alvano versus Nico Ottaminelli and Brett Maher. No Jacob Hull in this list, but he is listed on the spring game roster that we'll get to here in just a moment. Then you have the Pin 'em Deep Punter Challenge. It'll be Camden Cook, son, of course, of Sam Cook, and then Nico Ottaminelli, who is practicing both as a punter and a kicker. At one point, Jack McAllister was still listed on this roster as a Husker. He is still there on the numerical roster, number 38. But of course, Jack McAllister will be entering the transfer portal, with Nebraska making the move from the more traditional style of punting that Nebraska went out and got Jack McAllister for, to more of a rugby style punting unit. So it'll be interesting to watch that. And then the long snappers, right? We've had way too many long snapper conversations on this radio station for anyone's comfort. But the long snappers will be Aiden Flagey and Kevin Gallick are the names of those young men who will be doing the long snapping here today. Again, 402-464-5685. Be a part of the show. Would love to hear from you. Love to see what you got at the Husker sale. So then you have the first quarter of the scrimmage. After the first quarter, we run into the strongest man competition with 3 events: the tractor pull, the tractor tire relay, and the bench press. I'm not an odds maker. I'm not taking your money. I'm not a bookie or anything like that. But here are the teams, in case you feel the need to put a little cheddar on any of these. In the tractor pull, your teams are, on the offensive side, Justin Evans and Elijah Pritchett. So Nebraska's presumed starting center and one of Nebraska's 2 presumed starting tackles, versus the defensive players of Williams Nwarni, the transfer in from Missouri, and then Riley Van Poppel, who redshirted last year, played in his 4 games. I know plenty of Husker fans, plenty of Husker coaches are excited about what it is Riley Van Poppel can bring to the table for the Big Red. It'll be those are your teams in the tractor pull. The tractor tire relay is split up between, I guess it's just one offensive player, and the rest are defensive players. So one team will be tight end Luke Lindenmeyer, and then linebackers Marquise Watson Trent and Vincent Shavers Jr. The other team will be Jacob Bauer, Dasan McCullough, and Willis McGahee the 4th. Those are fun teams. Those are certainly names Husker fans know. And then the bench press. How about this? This is a quite a lineup here. Teams of, I believe, 5 players in the bench press. So team 1 in the bench, Sierra Wright, Justin Evans, again, after the tractor pull, Mac Markway. There's a name that I think a lot of Husker fans have forgotten about. He's the player that joined the team early last year from LSU, transfers to Nebraska from there. Obviously wasn't eligible, was injured. Something was going on with him. Didn't see the field, but he is a part of the team. He factors into the tight end room. Also on offense, Demetrius Bell, wide receiver, who of course was injured in last year's true actual spring game, had the ACL injury, missed last year. He's back doing bench press competition in the Husker games. And then Amari Sanders, who we heard speak earlier last week at the podium, defensive back. The other team, Andrew Marshall, the transfer from Idaho. You get Henry Lutovsky, starting offensive lineman. Cam Lenhart, big junior year ahead for him. Justin Rhett and Maverick Noonan, Husker legacy, Husker fan favorite Maverick Noonan. That'll be the bench press competition. Then you get the second quarter of the scrimmage at what they're going to call halftime will be the quarterback shootout and the roping roundup. The teams for the quarterback shootout, you got QB1, Dylan Raiola, then TJ Teef and Bodie Sukup. Then on the other team, it'll be Dylan Raiola's backup, Jalen Gramstad, along with Marcos Davila and Luke Longville. Really interested to see Marcus Davila throw the ball around a little bit. That's a guy who was said to have a big arm coming out of Purdue. Curious to see him put that on display. Of course, it'll be Latif, Davila, and Longville that are getting snaps, and Sukup too. So no Raiola and no Gramstad in the game, but you will see the other four quarterbacks get their fair share of action throughout the scrimmage. Curious to see what that quarterback shootout looks like. And then, of course, the John Cook halftime roping roundup. We heard Heinrich Harburg get on Twitter and talk some smack to the former volleyball coach Elijah Judy, signed up for that. So the roping roundup teams will be Quinn Clark, Carter Nelson, and Heinrich Harburg versus Pierce Mooberry, Mav Noonan, and Elijah Judy. Nice to see Mav Noonan double dip a little bit there. But how about that? Offense versus defense in the roping roundup. Wide receiver Quinn Clark, tight end Carter Nelson, and tight end Heinrich Harburg versus a linebacker and Pierce Mooberry and a couple of defensive linemen, Mav Noonan and Elijah Judy. Then you have the agility and skills showdown. That'll be after the third quarter of the scrimmage. That includes the hands competition and the agility course. Let's start with the hands competition. It's obviously going to be a bunch of wide receivers versus a bunch of defensive backs, but you get some flavor mixed in there, some tight ends and some linebackers as well. In the hands competition, Ja'Cory Barney Jr., Denarin Bonner, Cortez Mills, Dane Key, Dawson Merritt. How about that? And Luke Lindenmeyer's one team. The other team will be Marquise Buford, Malcolm Hartzog, Donovan Jones, Mario Buford, Javen Wright, and Bly Hill. So a lot of pass catchers and Dawson Merritt. That's interesting to me. That's interesting. Would love to be out there seeing how Dawson Merritt's hands are. Of course, he comes to Nebraska as a linebacker. And then the agility course. This one I'm sure would be pretty fun to watch. On the one team, you have Tyler Canuck, you have Emmett Johnson, Deshaun Singleton, Keelan Smith, and Jeremiah Charles. The flip side of that team is Keona Davis, Cortez Mills, Derek Branch, Evan Taylor, and Larry Tarver Jr. There will also be a fastest man competition. At least it's listed here in the, that'll be after the fourth quarter, but no participants are given. I'd be really curious to see on this team that Nebraska built, like a track team to some degree, right? That's one of the things that Matt Rule and Evan Cooper really looked at when they first got to Lincoln was, what are these players 100 and 200 times, right? Obviously the 40, we know about that. That's a big test in football with the NFL Combine and pro days and whatnot. But Matt Rule and Evan Cooper, one of their big things was more that long speed, right? If you can stretch it out over 100 meters, 110 yards, 200 meters, 220 yards, whatever it is, that probably bodes pretty well. So Nebraska, we've heard, is moving in the direction of being a faster team. Let's see who's willing to put that on display. I think there are a lot of guys that could have a pretty darn good showing there. Maybe even like a Jeremiah Charles. That's a guy that's run some track. It's where it's maybe too bad Jalen Lloyd transferred out and he's at Oklahoma State. What would Jalen Lloyd look like in the fastest man competition? That will be a question we are unable to answer. And then wing eating contest. You get three teams for this one. Three teams. Emmett Johnson joked that he would have loved to have participated in this for the offense, but all the offensive line took over. How about this lineup? Gunnar Gatula, Turner Corcoran, Grant Bricks, Rocco Spindler, and Teddy Prohaska. That's a lot of beef there. Going to be eating a lot of chicken. On the flip side, for the defense, it's David Borchers, Connor Keneally, Jalen George, Dylan Rogers, and Sua Lafotu. Yep, a lot of defensive line and offensive line flavor in those two groups, but that's not it. There's also a coaches group. There is also a coaches group participating in the Wing Eating Challenge. It'll be Terry Braden, Phil Simpson, Keith Williams, EJ Barthel, and then Gus Felder for the coaches. And the Wing Eating contest and the fastest man competition will take place after the fourth quarter of the scrimmage is complete. So there's the lineup for you, Husker fans. That'll be coming your way here in about 45 minutes or so. Right now at Memorial Stadium, we have the women's flag football game going on. The Husker football portion of the activities will begin at 2. You got the soccer match at 4:30 and volleyball at 7 over at the Devaney. Definitely want to talk some Husker volleyball as we move throughout the course of the next 45 minutes. Lots going on with that team, lots going on with that roster, lots to look forward to in year one of head coach Danny Busboom Kelly. But let's stick on football while we're here for now. Some interesting players on the defensive side of the ball that are suited up today. You think about a guy like Caleb Benning, who featured pretty heavily in the plans for Nebraska at the Pinstripe Bowl against Boston College. He's suited up in the actual scrimmage portion of the proceedings today. That's a guy I'm pretty darn comfortable is on the 105-man roster, but more reps for a young player is probably never a bad thing. You see Jeremiah Charles, who had his fair share of action. I'm curious to see if the athletic traits begin to translate to the field for Jeremiah Charles this year, right? That's a track guy who can jump out of the gym, was a part of the Husker football dunk competition, and certainly showed out in that. Could not defend his crown in year 2, but really stole the show certainly in year 1. So Jeremiah Charles, has he gotten more consistent? Has he been able to refine those athletic gifts into production and consistency on the football field? There's a chance to look that over here today. On the defensive line, you get guys like Ian Flint and Mason Goldman, David Huffkin, definitely. And then a guy that I think a lot of Husker fans are going to be excited to see, Christian Jones is taking the field. Linebacker, one of the top prospects in Nebraska, if not the top prospect in the state, coming out of Omaha West Side, a linebacker that was really down to Nebraska and Oklahoma, I think, at the end of the day. He chooses to stay home. He chooses the Huskers. And I do think that linebacker is a room where there's opportunity for some of these young players to make a mark and to move up the depth chart, right? You see Nebraska go out and get Marquise Watson-Trent out of Georgia Southern. You think, Vincent Shavers, who played pretty well in the Pinstripe Bowl against Boston College. But you think about a guy like Christian Jones with his pedigree, how quickly can he pick up a system? How quickly can he get ready to go? And how quickly can he put his physical traits, his linebacking ability on display in Memorial Stadium? Like Matt Rule said, this isn't really truly a competition for the 105. It's a way for a lot of players to get film, as more and more will need to start trickling into the transfer portal for Nebraska, certainly by the time fall camp rolls around. But a guy like Christian Jones, I think, could go a long way for this Nebraska linebacker room because of his size. I mean, right now on the roster, Christian Jones listed at 6'2", 230 pounds. He can move side to side pretty well. We know he can get downhill and hit. I'd be really curious to see just how Christian Jones shows out today for the defense on the 4 scrimmages. Dylan Rogers, another name. Connor Shute, curious to see. And then Gage Stenger down the list. There's another linebacker, 6'2", 220 out of Omaha, right? Went to Millard South. That's a guy that Dylan Raiola called out as one of the guys that really impressed him as a leader. I'm going to see if I can get that clip pulled up from Dylan Raiola in earlier this week, because Gage Stenger is one of those guys that I think a lot of Husker fans would hang their hat on as that's what, in-state recruiting is all about. Who can we get in? Who wants to be here? Who's going to grind their way up the depth chart? Let's see here. Leaders, Raiola. Oh, yeah. Players making that leadership jump. Here's a Nebraska quarterback, Dylan Raiola, on the players that have really taken over as leaders for the Huskers this spring.
Who are those guys? Who are the 6 or 7 you're talking about?
Yeah, Cam Lenhart, Dane Key, Justin Evans, Gage Stinger, Mar Watson, and Henry Latofsky. I'm probably forgetting one. I'll probably hear from him. But, yeah, those are the guys. Myself, yeah.
There's the list of guys that Dylan Raiola has really seen make the leadership jump. And one of them that's playing is Gage Stenger. Probably going to factor into the 2 deep at linebacker, where there's a lot unproven for Nebraska, but going to be interesting to see what he puts on display as a linebacker, not just a special teamer. And then a little bit of a position switch as we transition to talking about the offense. Trent Euler, son, of course, of Todd Euler, who hosts the Power Hour here on Saturdays on the Ticket, and, of course, Window World Wednesdays with the captain. Trent made the switch to linebacker not that long ago. I mean, that's a really good athlete. Baseball player, was a catcher at one point, but decided to walk on at Nebraska. When Nebraska was leaning in the direction of the fullback, they moved him to running back. And now it looks like Trent has made the switch to linebacker, but that means someone probably switched over to offense, and that is the case. Vince Genatone, the North Platte, Nebraska product, who is a linebacker and special teamer at Montana in the FCS ranks. He transferred back home last year to Nebraska. Now he's made the switch to the running back room from the linebacker room. So Trent Euler and Vince Genatone switch spots. We'll see how quickly those two guys have taken to their new spots, just how much they get to put on display. Now on the offense, right, you think about the quarterbacks. Bodie Sukup and Luke Longville were guys whose names we know, saw them in the spring game a year ago. TJ Lateef and Marcos Davila in the competition for QB3. You know, God willing and the creek don't rise, Nebraska doesn't need to get down that far. It doesn't even need to get down to quarterback 2, but pretty much every team will at some point. Nebraska seemed comfortable with Jalen Gramstad taking those QB2 reps. Okay. Was it the way I was expecting that competition to go? No, I really thought you would have gone and gotten a Marcos Davila to be that backup, to be that understudy to Dylan Raiola, and Gramstad can still be there in that mentorship and leadership role. But to see Marcos Davila, now after his redshirt year at Purdue, and then TJ Lateef, an early enrollee, what does he bring to the field, right? Pretty good arm, but everything I hear about TJ Lateef is intangibles. He's a leader. He's got that it factor about him. He's California cool without being too relaxed. He's a competitor. Really curious to see what it is TJ Lateef brings to the table. Some guys they'll be handing off to. Connor Booth. That's a guy that put up some crazy numbers in Class C at Bishop Neumann over the last couple falls. Obviously, multi-sport guy with football and baseball as well. Kenneth Williams will be at running back. Get Makai Nelson. That's a guy that has been talked of pretty highly this year. My guess would be RB3 right now, but behind Emmett Johnson and then behind Quint Knives, who we do not see listed on the roster to get snaps in the scrimmage here today. So that's an interesting running back room, right? Which of those guys can make a move, can prove that they can hang on special teams, whether it's as a returner, running down on kickoff, whatever it is. And then what do they do with the reps they're given in the scrimmage? That's an interesting room. There's a lot of potential there. We'll see who makes the most of it. Wide receivers, you get DJ Singleton. He'll be wearing number 30. Hayes Miller, a young guy at 81. And then some guys that I think a lot of Husker fans are really excited to watch. You get Isaiah Mosey, Cortez Mills, and Quinn Clark. I don't know how many reps those guys are going to get this year. We heard Dana Holgerson talk especially about Isaiah Mosey and then about Cortez Mills as well as guys that are really, kind of forcing the coaching staff's hand to play them. But Nebraska does have a lot of veteran depth, right? You think about Dane Key coming from Kentucky. Isaiah Hunter is just a sophomore coming over from Cal. Ja'Cory Barney Jr. did not redshirt last year, right? He played a big role in that Husker offense, so he's back. Demetrius Bell returns from injury. There's a top 4. Janarin Bonner, if he's a wide receiver, probably your top 5. So I'd be curious to see which of these young players maybe makes a surprise move up the depth chart a little bit, right? Mosey, of course, connections with his dad, Jamar, out of the Kansas City area. Jamar Mosey on staff now, and Isaiah Mosey flips to Nebraska. Cortez Mills, one of the most highly sought-after guys in the wide receiver market, such as it was in terms of high school recruiting. Good hands, pretty decent size for Cortez Mills. Let me scroll over here. He's listed at 6 foot, 175. Will he play inside? Will he play outside? Will he mix it up? I'm curious to see that. And then, of course, Quinn Clark, right? Husker legacy with Ken Clark. Quinn's listed at 6'5", 205. So if I'm Quinn Clark, I'm attached to Dane Key at the hip. I'm following him everywhere. That is a productive player that came over from the SEC. Sounds like he's taken over a little bit of a leadership role as well. So if I'm Quinn Clark, Dane Key's my guy. I'm sticking with him. I'm doing his habits. I'm making sure I know where Dane Key is at all times, and I'm trying to become the next of him. Because if Dane Key does go down, Nebraska's going to need some receivers with size. Obviously, hope nothing but the best for Dane Key, but again, crap happens, especially to this Nebraska football program, maybe more often than fans and coaches and players certainly would like it to. So if Dane Key needs a breather, if he needs a break, or he needs to come out of the game for a minute, I really think there's good potential there for Quinn Clark to step in and to fill that gap. I think this is a good time for us to take our first break of our first hour. Once again, you're listening to the Husker Games Conversations here on 93.7 The Ticket. I'm Austin Norman. I will be with you till 2. At 2 o'clock, we'll bring in Jake Sorensen. At 3 o'clock, it'll be Nick Sainert. 4 o'clock, Jake Bachhofen. And then at 5:40 tonight, at 5:40 tonight, Lincoln Stars, game 1 of the Western Conference Finals against Waterloo. That's a 5:40 pregame and a 6:05 puck drop. I'm Austin Norman. We'll be back with more Husker games, Husker conversations right after this on The Ticket. Tailored Landscapes is actively preparing for spring. Things like new tree orders, getting equipment ready, and training staff to serve you the best they can. If you haven't already planned, now is the perfect time to figure out a maintenance plan for your yard. Tailored Landscapes is on the brink of spring cleanups for all their existing customers, and they have limited spots available. They trim trees and shrubs when needed and only mulch proper amounts. Give Tailored Landscapes a call at 402-432-2572 to set up a meeting with one of their designers and stop by the Tailored Life store in Bennett.
Psst. You know what's better than waking up early to go to the airport? Sleeping in. Lucky for you, the lines at the Lincoln Airport are so short and our service is so fast. You won't need to sacrifice precious beauty sleep to get here hours before your flight. So, go ahead. Sleep in. You deserve it. And choose the airport that helps you relax. LNK. Make flying easy.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Mike, I've been thinking our house could really use a makeover. How about new siding?
I've been thinking the same thing. Have you heard of James Hardy?
Yes. Sarah down the street had Roofing Service Company install James Hardy siding on their home, and they love it.
Roofing Service Company does have great reviews.
They took her through the design process and made everything super easy.
Roofing Service Company offers expert design and installation. Couple that with James Hardy's durable products and variety of colors, you and your family will love your exterior remodel. Just visit roofingservicecompany.com. That's roofingservicecompany.com.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Lincoln's go-to for fun isn't new. It's a place that's been a staple of the city for years and is only getting better. Matson's Bowling and Billiards always has open bowling available with no long lines unlike other centers. They have live music almost every weekend and great food at EJ's Bar and Lounge, with seating for 150 people. They have popular meals like the EJ Burger, pizza for the whole family, and famous EJ's Wings. Contact Sarah to book a party for friends, coworkers, or family at Matson's Bowling and Billiards, just south of 48th and Holdridge.
Your new Total Wine in Lincoln has the largest selection of wines, spirits, and beers, plus totally low prices and friendly service from our helpful guides. With over 8,000 wines, 4,500 spirits, and 2,500 beers, you're sure to find your favorites and something new. You can even order delivery, in-store, or curbside pickup. Find what you love what you find, only at Total Wine and More. Now open in Lincoln next to Gateway Mall.
Drink responsibly, B21.
Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next opportunity? Nebco is hiring. They're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. They offer competitive wages, great benefits, service trucks, OEM-level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities. Apply today at nebco.com. Positions include lead and A-level mechanics for the Nebco shop. Learn more at nebco.com. If you're driven and ready to grow with a company that's been around since 1908, apply today at nebco.com.
Right now, when you drive by Honda of Lincoln, you'll see more than 200 new Hondas and over 125 pre-owned vehicles. Hi, Charlie Stone here, and with me on the line is Andy Goodyear of Honda of Lincoln. Andy, how does it feel to have so many vehicles in stock again for your customers?
Charlie, it feels amazing to see how excited our customers are. They love the ability to see, test drive, and take immediate delivery of the exact new Honda they're looking for.
Do you have some good offers to talk about?
We sure do, Charlie. We're offering financing as low as 0.9% APR up to 72 months or Great lease rates on every new Honda. It's the perfect time to drive away in the new Honda you've been dreaming of.
How about pre-owned, Andy?
We have over 125 pre-owned and certified pre-owned vehicles to choose from. Just about every make and model with prices starting at under $10,000.
Maybe it's time you experience the best, the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business. 27th and Yankee Hill Road or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Hey farmers, if you don't already, you need to get to know the guys at Boyk Farm Outfitters. If you're ready to turn your sprayer into a money-saving smart machine, they can hook you up. If you just want to get your chemicals from some good guys that care about your operations goals, they want to chat. They work with progressive growers all over eastern Nebraska to assist with equipment upgrades and input options. Boyk Farm Outfitters is equipping the modern farmer. Check them out at Boyk, B-O-E-C-K, farmoutfitters.com. Load up on meat and more this spring at The Mercado by Certified Piedmontese, with great selections of T-bones, tomahawks, ribeyes, filet mignon, brisket, sirloin, and so much more. The Mercado has locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, where you can have $2 draft beer every Thursday night from 4 to 8 p.m. and half-price espresso drinks on Fridays from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Get to The Mercado today for the best meat in town. Husker Games, Husker Conversations rolling right along here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Don't forget, you can be a part of the show if you're driving around, if you're sitting at home, if you're in the stadium, whatever it is. Join the conversation, 402-464-5685. I'm Austin Norman with you for another 25 minutes or so. Again, we'll have the whole ticket lineup, or at least pieces of each part of the day here at the Ticket, cycling through some Husker Games, Husker Conversations throughout the course of the afternoon. Some updates from Memorial Stadium. It's Midland all over Nebraska in women's flag football. 47-0. Midland leads Nebraska right now. It got so bad for the Husker women's flag football team that QB1, number 15, for the actual Huskers, Dylan Raiola, is now taking snaps with Nebraska women's flag football and punting. Yeah, that's the state of things. 47-0 Midland right now. A big shout out to Ty Robinson, drafted in the 4th round with the 9th pick of the 4th round, 111th overall. He goes to the Philadelphia Eagles. And so we can stop talking about it, at least on this part of the show, Shadur Sanders selected by Cleveland with the 6th pick of the 5th round. We're still waiting on Thomas Fidone, Tommy Hill, maybe Isaiah Nayer in the NFL draft for Nebraska. I do want to talk some volleyball here for the next 10 minutes or so. Huskers will scrimmage against Kansas tonight. Interesting opponent for the Huskers to be scrimmaging in Kansas. The Jayhawks head coach of 27 years, Ray Bouchard, just retired after 27 years in charge of the Jayhawks program. So obviously took over a little bit before 2000, but since 2000, the Jayhawks have only had 4 losing seasons. They've had back-to-back 20-win seasons the last couple of years, but really their best run was from 2012 to 2017. Look at this. Shocker. Nebraska leaves the conference. Someone gets better at volleyball. That someone was Kansas. Their best year was probably 2015 when the Jayhawks went 30-3, ultimately falling in the Final Four to Nebraska in Omaha, as Nebraska dispatches of the Jayhawks in 4 sets to win the 2015. Well, it's the first step on their Final Four journey to the national championship that year. Now, obviously, Ray Bouchard retires, and Kansas brings in a pretty big name. Matt Ulmer leaves Oregon, a pretty consistent top 25 team under his direction. He is in Lawrence. He is bringing the Jayhawks to Lincoln here tonight. It's really interesting to look at the state of Husker volleyball, and really, I think, look at the position that the roster is in, right? You would think that a legendary coach like John Cook, his retirement, you would say there's a non-zero chance that a decision like that would throw a roster into some turmoil. But Nebraska really didn't have that roster turmoil or turnover. Nebraska really just lost its seniors, and that's about it. right? And Nebraska keeps Olivia Malkin, Laney Choboy in some combination to replace Lexi Rodriguez. Nebraska brings back a couple of middle blockers, obviously, in Rebecca Alec and Andy Jackson. And then Taylor Landfair, as the outside hitter, comes back for her super senior year. Those are all pretty important pieces that Nebraska was able to keep in the building, despite maybe having the option to walk away. And of course, you think about bringing in a coach like Danny Busboom Kelly, who does come from the John Cook coaching tree, but is her own coach. We know this. We've had these discussions and these conversations. But you would think a coach like that, a high-profile coach, a Final Four caliber coach, would potentially, bring some of her players from Louisville with her, or that some of her players from Louisville would want to follow her. Louisville's turned into a really good program under Coach Busboom Kelly's watch. So you can't say that she didn't bring any of those players along because they're not Nebraska caliber. But the players that you would have thought Nebraska, might have had an interest in, or that the Coach Busboom Kelly would have been interested in bringing along with her, would be some of the best players. But a lot of Louisville's best players last year in their run to the Final Four in their home city and home arena were seniors, right? Anna DeBeer, one of the best attackers in the country, was a graduate student. She's playing for the Indy Ignite right now. Charity Looper was a senior. She's playing for the Vegas Thrill. Sophia Maldonado Diaz came over to Louisville from Arizona, I believe it was, as a grad transfer. So she's out the door. She's graduated, done with college volleyball. A couple players that stayed at Louisville: Reese Robbins, an opposite hitter, and Kara Cressy, a middle blocker, end up staying in the City of Roses. Nebraska adds Ali Check at opposite hitter, of course, the transfer from Baylor. And then obviously getting Rebecca Alec and Andy Jackson back was big for Nebraska. So in an offseason of so much that could have gone left, right, with the Cook retirement, Nebraska did a good job of having, Coach Busboom Kelly waiting in the wings. Of course, there was the provision in her contract with the buyout for anywhere except Nebraska, her home state, her alma mater, all that good stuff. But Nebraska was still able to pull it off. And that's a big deal, right? Because not every transition plan goes that smoothly, but it was that smooth for Nebraska. But then even no matter how smooth the actual handing over of the reins is, sometimes players don't know what to expect with a new coach. Maybe sometimes players say, well, I wanted to play for John Cook. He's not here. Love Nebraska, but I'm going to go to my second place finisher with a head coach that I had a relationship with before, to another school that I really appreciated. But Nebraska brought back everyone. Nebraska brought back Skylar Pierce, who redshirted last year. Talented player, like top 5 player in the country out of Olathe Northwest, right? That's a player that could have said, well, it was John Cook that recruited me. I don't know Coach Busboom Kelly at all. There's some competition ahead of me, so I'm just going to hit the bricks. Deuces. See ya. No, Skylar Pierce ends up sticking around. You think about Taylor Landfair choosing to come back for her super senior year. She could have said, you know what? I don't really want to play for my third head coach in college. Had a good run at Minnesota. Things were fine at Nebraska. Appreciate the opportunity, but learning another, new-ish system, learning new terminology. I'm ready to move on with my life. She doesn't do it. Taylor Landfair comes back. That is an older player, a veteran, experienced leader. That goes a long way. And then, of course, you think about like a Bergen Riley retaining her spot at Nebraska. Nebraska goes out and gets the top setter recruit in the country in Campbell Flynn, but Bergen Riley says, nope, this is my job. I'm here to play. And so good on Nebraska for retaining her services as well. So really good job of roster work there by Coach Danny Busboom Kelly right as she first got to Lincoln, making sure the team was comfortable, having, I'm sure, open, honest conversations with them about what's expected. And of course, the team, I think we heard from, was it Rebecca Alec or Harper Murray, saying when John Cook, gave him the announcement in the news that he was retiring, they asked Coach Cook, the players did, to leave the room, give him a few minutes. And then when he walked back in, they all said, yeah, we're 100% on board with whoever the new coach is. And I'm sure in the moment that's simple to do, right? But then when you go home, you leave that meeting space and you have some time to digest the news. And then you call your family, you tell them about it once the news breaks, or friends are reaching out to you. I think it would only be human, only be natural to second guess your decision of, well, do I really want to stick around? Is there someplace I could go where I would be maybe a little bit more comfortable? Is it time for something new for me? But it's pretty incredible that that entire roster, that entire team is still on board. That's fantastic. That's awesome. I think it really bodes well for Nebraska. So about 5 hours away from first serve between Nebraska and Kansas in the exhibition. And then coming up next weekend, of course, is the spring match, Huskers and South Dakota State, of course, out at Ord High School. So that'll certainly be one to monitor and one to watch. Let's go ahead and hit our Starter Heyman Jewelers text line, 402-464-5685. Really appreciate y'all chiming in here on our Husker Games, Husker Conversations. Let's start with Jackson in Nashville. He says, missing Lincoln a little extra today. Really wish I could be there and watch the backups fight for a spot. Love the culture Rule is building. Can't wait for the football season. GBR, let's go. Jackson from Nashville, really appreciate you tuning in. We hope you're able to make it back for a game sometime this season, whether it's a football game, volleyball game, basketball game, wherever it is. If you're in town, open invitation here at 1040 O Street. Our doors will be open on game days. Obviously, we're here 7 days a week pumping out Lincoln's real sports talk for you. So thank you for tuning in from Nashville there, Jackson. Would love to see you here at 1040 O Street at some point. Either way, thanks a ton for listening from all the way out there. Let's go to Timmy V on our Starter Heyman Jewelers text line. Chiming in on the Shedeur Sanders pick. The Browns now have 5 quarterbacks on their roster. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5. Deshaun Watson, who, heard again, getting paid to not play, getting paid to send draft picks out the door. You have Kenny Pickett, who comes over, of course, from a run with Pittsburgh and now a Super Bowl champion with Philadelphia. Joe Flacco returns to Cleveland after putting up some numbers there in the relatively recent past. Dylan Gabriel, the Oregon quarterback, was selected by the Cleveland Browns, as was Shedeur Sanders again there in the 5th round of the NFL draft with the 6th overall pick. There's going to have to be some attrition from that room. Obviously, Deshaun Watson on IR. He's not going to play. He's just kind of taken up that kind of spot in the void off in the nebulous great beyond. The starting conversation, do you go with Kenny Pickett, who didn't exactly flourish in Pittsburgh? Is Kevin Stefanski's offense better for him? Is there more of a role in Cleveland? I don't know. Joe Flacco, on the tail end of his career, did some decent things for Indianapolis, but I think the reputation went a little farther than the play on the field actually did, having watched You Can't Spell Joe Flacco without ELITE last year. And then you're down with a couple of rookies, right? Dylan Gabriel, who really strikes me as a system quarterback who I think needs a lot of pieces around him to be successful consistently at the NFL level, and Shedeur Sanders. It's going to be so interesting to hear the story from all these executives and these teams as to why Shedeur Sanders slid. And to Cleveland, who had every opportunity to pick Shedeur Sanders before they actually did. Let me see if I can actually figure out the Cleveland draft here. I'm on NFL.com right now. Do they go pick by pick? Yeah. So Cleveland's picks so far in the NFL draft. Mason Graham, defensive tackle from Michigan, their reward for trading back from number 2 to number 5. Carson Schlesinger, the linebacker from UCLA. They took Quinshon Judkins, running back from Ohio State, just a couple picks after Schlesinger. Harold Fannin from Bowling Green. He'll be wearing the same colors, sticking in the same, not the same state, but they're close, right? Bowling Green, I think, is Kentucky. Obviously, Cleveland is in Ohio, but very similar putrid orange color scheme. So Harold Fannin Jr. And then Dylan Gabriel was the third to last pick of the 3rd round. Cleveland then took Dylan Sampson, the running back from Tennessee, in the 4th. And then in the 5th, they finally get to Shedeur Sanders. So Cleveland had 6 other opportunities to take Shedeur Sanders and finally said, you know what, this has gone on long enough. Even if we don't fully believe in the player, we're going to take him because of the value. It's hard to pass that up. A quarterback that you think could develop into a legitimate NFL piece, to get him in the 5th round could be value. Could be. A lot remains to be seen on that. Chad and Seward, thanks for timing in here on our Starter Heyman Jewelers text line. Appreciate the kind words. Appreciate the comments. Any updates on the draft? No, not a lot going on in Huskerland right now. It's still Ty Robinson as the only player off the board for the Big Red. So we will continue to monitor that. Thomas Fedoni would be probably my pick for the next Husker to go. Could Nash Hutmaker sneak in there? Would it be Tommy Hill? Does someone buy the junior tape and the recovery from the plantar fascia injury? Or Isaiah Nair, right? Freaky athlete, one of the top relative athletic scores in NFL draft history by a wide receiver, but really only a year and a half of production to show for it at the college level. We will keep monitoring the Huskers in the draft. Bill and Bennett, I see your comment, your question. We'll talk some Husker baseball as well. Amy and Lincoln Bowling Green is in Ohio. Thank you for that. So, yep, he does stay in the same state than Harold Fannin Jr., of course. Bill and Bennett, we'll talk some Husker baseball. We'll talk some Husker softball and more to round out the first hour of our Husker Games, Husker Conversations. We'll be with you till 5, chatting whatever's going on in Husker land throughout the day. I'll wrap up my little segment right after this.
Wolf Ace Hardware, your local hardware man, says please give blood generously. By doing so, your efforts could help save the life of a child, a surgery patient, or even that of an accident victim. So why not be a silent hero? Roll up your sleeves and give the gift of life. This message from Wolf Ace Hardware, located at 6118 Havelock Avenue in Lincoln, a quality company that cares. Contractors and homeowners, get to Wolf Ace Hardware for all your paint, brushes, and anything else you need for your upcoming project. For more information, call 402-466-7707. Wolf Ace Hardware, wishing all a very healthy and prosperous spring season.
Hey farmers, if you don't already, you need to get to know the guys at Boyk Farm Outfitters. If you're ready to turn your sprayer into a money-saving smart machine, they can hook you up. If you just want to get your chemicals from some good guys that care about your operations goals, they want to chat. They work with progressive growers all over eastern Nebraska to assist with equipment upgrades and input options. Boyk Farm Outfitters is equipping the modern farmer. Check them out at Boyk, B-O-E-C-K, farmoutfitters.com.
Fight fans, May 3rd, Dynasty Combat Sports hosts the first bare-knuckle boxing bout ever at Pinnacle Bank Arena, pitting Lincoln's Tower Robinson against McCook's Thomas Thatcher. Additionally, MMA bouts will see champion Nate Morrow battle Nebraska City's Brett Minner. University of Nebraska wrestler Tyler Berger makes his pro MMA debut, and Hunter Green takes on Husham Zadow for the amateur featherweight title. Also, professionals Brady Minner, Sean Lindgren, Justin Weaver, and the debut of another Nebraska wrestler, Bubba Wilson. 16 fights are scheduled Saturday, May 3rd at Pinnacle Bank Arena. Fight cards subject to change. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com or at the Pinnacle Bank Arena box office.
What's better than supporting your favorite radio station and eating delicious Nebraska-made products? Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska wants to highlight you, the listener, on the 93.7 The Ticket Wall of Fame at the store. Stop by the store at 48th and R in Lincoln and see their huge variety of small batch gourmet jerky. Or if you're not in the area and want to try some, go to smokinggunjerky.com and enter code EARLY for 10% off your purchase. It's the ultimate low-calorie, high-protein snack at Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska.
With UBT, you've got total control over your money. Like Doug, who runs his game day tailgate like a well-oiled machine.
I got burgers, brats, chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
Pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Garage doors can break down or quit working at the worst times. At Doors Plus, they understand that a broken garage door sometimes means repair and not replace. Sometimes, all you need to make your door like new again is a few bolts, a realignment, or even a new balance. Trust the pros at Doors Plus to handle your garage door repair the right way so you can get on with your busy schedule. Visit them online at DoorsPlusLLC.com or give them a call today at 402-590-5800. Doors Plus. Garage doors and more.
Get ready for the largest dirt late model event in Nebraska, race fans. The Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series is heading to Eagle Raceway's High Bank Heist on Thursday, May 15th through Saturday, May 17th. See the greatest dirt late model stars in the country compete for $10,000 to win on both Thursday and Friday, and an enormous $50,000 to win 75-lap main event on Saturday. The High Bank Heist, May 15th through May 17th at Eagle Raceway. For more info, visit eagleraceway.com. Let's go Lucas Oil Late Model Racing. Eagle Raceway, just 10 miles east of Lincoln on O Street.
It's never too late to start protecting your company's data from cyber attacks. Your customers put their trust in you to keep their information safe from online threats. Don't let them down. Partner with Hamilton Business Technologies to get real-time threat monitoring, advanced security protocols, and experts who monitor it all for you. We care about the success of your business and the communities you serve. Hamilton Business Technologies. Real people, real technology solutions. Connect with us at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Salt Mine City is not only Lincoln's newest brewery, but they're also now serving food. Enjoy a full menu of great items daily for lunch and dinner, like their peanut butter and jelly burger with bacon and cheddar cheese, or a Reuben sandwich served on Blackstone rye bread. Don't forget their beef or chicken nachos with guacamole, sour cream, jalapenos, and more. Wash it down with one of their 12 beers on tap, including the popular Single Axle Light American Lager. Salt Mine City, now open 11 a.m. every day but Mondays at 8th and R.
You don't have to cross your fingers when digging into the ground this spring. Start every project with a call to Nebraska 811 so utilities like LES can mark their buried lines and you can avoid injury and power outages.
You know the saying, April showers bring May flowers. Well, it's true for heart health, too. Sprinkling in a few small changes can make a big impact on your heart health. Try adding a vegetable to your dinner or no salt seasoning. Looking for support in making these changes? Join a workshop to learn more about a healthy lifestyle. Search Chronic Disease Nebraska for more details. Paid for by Nebraska DHHS, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
We got some Husker games, Husker conversations for you here on the Ticket, 93.7 The Ticket, and theticketfm.com. Streaming worldwide for you on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and then if you are an Allo subscriber, channel 961. I'm Austin Norman, rounding out my little section of this, getting ready to turn things over to the host of Early Break, Jake Sorensen. You like what you heard? Or you want to come heckle? Either way, you like it, you didn't like it. I'm with you for On the Block, 3 to 5 weekdays. Old school, weekdays 5 to 6, and then the Corner 3 on Friday nights from 6 to 7 p.m. Really appreciate everyone who listens, who tunes in, who drops a comment, who asks a question, who provides a thought-provoking exercise. We love you guys. I refer to you lovingly as Blockheads from 3 to 5. The term of endearment because it's on the block. You have a better nickname for yourselves, come up with it, but until then, y'all are the Blockheads as far as I'm concerned. One of those Blockheads, the no longer notorious Bill in Bennett. Is the Husker baseball game a washout today in College Park, Maryland? No longer notorious BIB. It is not a washout. There's just some weather in the area. So first pitch got pushed back to 3 o'clock Eastern, which is 4 o'clock Central. Rough one for the Huskers last night out in College Park. They lose the series opener to the Terps. Final score of 12-5. Huskers at one point had a 3-0 lead in the second. Maryland came back and tied it up immediately with 3 in the bottom of the second. Terps would go ahead at 5-3. Nebraska scratched a run across in the fourth. Maryland answered right back, and then it was a 5-run seventh inning that ends up doing Nebraska in, helping provide the final margin of 12-5. So 3-run lead for the Huskers. They're unable to hold on. Trying to pull up a box score as we go here for the Huskers. Disappointing start to the series. Maryland, another team that's below 500 here in the Big Ten overall, like Nebraska is as well. Whopping attendance of 968 out in College Park, Maryland. That's about 60% of what Nebraska often plays in front of, if not even lower than 60% at Hawks Field. But Caden Brumbaugh opened the scoring for Nebraska. He had a homer on a 2-1 count, just a solo shot. Then it was a Will Jeske RBI single and a Josh Overbeek RBI single for the Huskers in the second inning that helped push that lead to 3-0. Then Maryland came back. Only one big fly in that rally. It was the third inning home run, a solo shot by Josh Orr. Maryland hit another homer in the fourth by Wilson. And then Hill hit a homer again in the 7th for the Terps. Nebraska got his other runs on an RBI single from Robbie Bolin. And then it was a double from Tyler Stone, who scored Caden Brumbaugh. So Brumbaugh scored to make it 6-5. Maryland got that one back in the 7th immediately, and then tacked on with a couple outs as well. For the Huskers on the day, only 2 players with multiple hits. It was Dylan Carey, who went 2 for 4, scored a couple runs. Josh Overbeek went 2 for 4 and drove one in. Brumbaugh only 1 hit, but he did draw a couple of walks. So he was on 3 times out of his 5 at-bats. Bolin ended up leaving 3 batters on base. Brumbaugh left a couple. And Nebraska just didn't leave many runners on, right? Scoring 5 runs is not enough to get it done, but 9 runners left on base. Stone was 1 for 4 with that RBI double, and Carey with his 2 outs left a couple on base as well. Pitching's been rough for the Huskers, though. It was really 2 guys that got hit around the yard yesterday. Will Walsh suffers the loss. He goes only 3 innings, 5 hits, all 5 runs were earned, 3 walks against 3 strikeouts. Not the typical command and control we're used to from Will Walsh. Tucker Timmerman took over. First of all, good to see Tucker Timmerman back from the shot he took off the face, suffered in the desert against Vanderbilt. Timmerman went 3 2/3 innings, 6 hits, 6 runs, 5 of them were earned, 6 strikeouts for him across the 8 outs that he got, but he also walked 3. Price Bender went an inning. He gave up a run on 2 hits, and then Blake Encarnacion faced 1 batter and ended up getting them out. Huskers just were not really able to do much of anything against the bullpen. Logan Hastings, for Maryland, gets the 3-inning save despite it being a 7-run game for the Terps. He throws just 45 pitches in 3 innings, and even Kyle McCoy, the starter, 100 pitches in 6 innings. That's barely really over what you're looking for as a pitcher. If you're at 15 pitches per inning, that's generally a good benchmark as a pitcher for, hey, I'm hitting my spots, I'm locating, and I'm being efficient with my pitches. McCoy faced only 4 batters over the minimum, despite allowing those 3 earned runs and 4 total. Got 7 groundouts, 10 flyouts, and only 1 strikeout. So Nebraska did a pretty good job of putting the ball in play, only 4 strikeouts on the day. Of course, the empty at-bats have been kind of a theme for Nebraska when the offense struggles in the Will Bolt tenure. So to see the Huskers have the midweek game against Kansas, where they put the ball in play at a pretty good clip, and then this game here against Maryland as well, it's a step in the right direction. But then the pitching's got to get figured out, right? The pitching was so good for Nebraska for so much of last year. And one of my questions for Evan Bland of the Omaha World Herald in our offseason conversations was, can Nebraska turn its pitching from a Big Ten conference level strength into a national level strength, where it's something that Nebraska can hang its hat on in a regional, to know that of the rotations, wherever Nebraska goes, will Nebraska have the best or the second best rotation? Last year, you thought by the numbers, Nebraska might have had the second best rotation, but then you see Florida match up against Brett Sears in the first game, your Big Ten pitcher of the year, and Florida wasn't scared. We're at the top of the hour. Let's go ahead and take our legal ID. I'll be back to wrap up my little segment with some Husker baseball and softball chatter in just a sec.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
But Nebraska hasn't really been able to parlay that pitching into a national level strength. Obviously, Mason McConaughey going down with the arm injury early in the year, that would hurt anyone when they lose their projected Friday guy. But Nebraska hasn't had, Ty Horn step up and dominate. Will Walsh has been fine. Jackson Brockett's been solid enough on Sundays. But the bullpen has not been able to hold leads consistently outside of Luke Broderick, who was on the midseason watch list for stopper of the year. So bad news out on the East Coast, but good news out on the West Coast as Nebraska softball ends up taking down Washington in game 1 of that series. Huskers put up 12 runs in that one. Washington scores 8. Nebraska got a big before holding off a Washington comeback. How about Jordy Ball? 2 for 3, a home run, 3 runs driven in, 51 RBI on the season, and is the first player to have 50 or more hits, runs, and runs batted in the same season for the Huskers since Billy Andrews in 2022. Ball at 15 homers and 15 doubles on the season. The first player in Nebraska history to have 15 homers and 15 doubles in the same year. Not bad for a player Nebraska brought in for the arm. More so than brought in for the bat. Jordy Ball's good. Pay attention to Husker softball, y'all. All right. My watch has ended for now. Turn it over to Jake Sorensen, host of Early Break. He's in the house. Jake will take you through the next hour. Nick Sainert coming in at 3. Jake Bach open at 4. It's been fun, y'all. Talk to you Monday during On the Block. Load up on meat and more this spring at The Mercado by Certified Piedmontese, with great selections of T-bones, tomahawks, ribeyes, filet mignon, brisket, sirloin, and so much more. The Mercado has locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, where you can have $2 draft beer every Thursday night from 4 to 8 p.m. and half-price espresso drinks on Fridays from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Get to The Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Midwest Bank is now hiring in Lincoln. They have multiple banking positions open and are looking for dynamic individuals passionate about helping others and building relationships. With a family-friendly culture, competitive benefits, and unique perks, Midwest Bank is a great place to start a new career. Apply today at midwest.bank. Midwest Bank is an equal opportunity employer, member FDIC.
Make plans to join 93.7 The Ticket and the Amon Green Foundation for the first annual Nebraska Esports Golf Tournament on Monday, June 9th at Wilderness Ridge. It's a 4-man scramble starting at 11 a.m. that will feature former Husker greats, including Amon Green, Johnny Rogers, Niles Paul, Tony Davis, Adam Carricker, Vershawn Jackson, and more, with great prizes and great golf. Sponsorships are also available. Email Jake at theticketfm.com for more questions or sign your team up online at theticketfm.com. Early bird registration goes through April 20th, and overall registration goes through May 30th.
Your new Total Wine in Lincoln has the largest selection of wines, spirits, and beers, plus totally low prices and friendly service from our helpful guides. With over 8,000 wines, 4,500 spirits, and 2,500 beers, you're sure to find your favorites and something new. You can even order delivery, in-store, or curbside pickup. Find what you love what you find, only at Total Wine and More. Now open in Lincoln next to Gateway Mall.
Drink responsibly, B21.
The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Big Brothers Big Sisters is bringing back Bowl for Kids' Sake. Create a team, raise donations, and join the bowling celebration at Sun Valley Lanes and Games on May 2nd. Every contribution helps to create and support one-to-one mentoring relationships for Lincoln's young people. Learn more and register today at bbbsmidlands.org under the Events tab. Big Brothers Big Sisters, igniting the power and promise of Lincoln's youth for over 50 years.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
If you want to make new floor shopping easier, come to O Street Carpet. Hi, I'm Steve Carper. Our flooring professionals can help you choose the best flooring for you, your family, and your budget. We eliminate the confusion. Even better, you'll be enjoying your new flooring much sooner. No 6 or 8 week waits. We'll install right away and save you money on installation. Floor shopping made easy every day at O Street Carpet. O Street Carpet. 1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Have you been injured in an accident and don't know where to turn? Do you need a lawyer you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion? The attorneys at Liberty Law understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you've been injured, we want to help you. Liberty Law's experienced attorneys are committed to the pursuit of justice for those injured. Contact us for a free consultation by calling 877-42-LIBERTY. Call Liberty Law and find out how we can help get you the compensation you deserve. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. Liberty Law Group. trial attorneys you can trust.
Hey, it's Chad with Nutrition Authority inviting you to stop in and check out the #1 selling complete post-workout product, CPR. CPR is ideal for anyone who works out, exercises, or competes and wants to maximize results. CPR can only be found at Nutrition Authority. Stop in today, try a free sample, or visit us at mynutritionauthority.com.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize to participate in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the KNTK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket. Good afternoon, Husker fans. Welcome to Husker Games, the football about to get underway. I was walking over from the parking garage. By the way, I am Jake Sorensen, host of Early Break, 6 to 9 a.m. every Monday through Friday here on 93.7 The Ticket. Doing a little afternoon shift today as we take you away all the way through 5 o'clock, and then Lincoln Stars action tonight as well. So packed day in Lincoln, Nebraska. Volleyball this evening, soccer also, and, of course, the football game, spring game right now. Seeing Will Compton in town, Taylor Lewan, and other Huskers and celebrities across the country are here. So fun to see that. If you want to chime in the show, 402-464-5685. Call or text, as always, here on our Husker Games and Husker Conversations here on a Saturday afternoon. I'll tell you this. What's really nice is I parked my car in the parking garage about a block away by the Embassy Suites a few minutes ago. It just feels nice when you hear the speaker system coming from Memorial Stadium. And I heard Nate Rohr, voice of the Huskers, on the PA system say, it's a Saturday afternoon in Lincoln, Nebraska, and you have Husker football. And I got chills. That was nice to hear that. It's nice to have football. Of course, this is not the spring game we were used to in the past of 40, 50,000 people. I'd like to know the official numbers. We'll get those updates here throughout the show. But certainly will be a lot to learn today. We won't see the likes of Dylan Raiola play unless it's the quarterback challenge. We won't see a lot of starters play at all. But as you heard Matt Rule say this past week, it's a chance for guys who maybe are playing their last time in Nebraska, guys who are just trying to make a rise up the roster sheet. This is a good chance for them to see what they can do and impress in front of the fans of Nebraska. No television today for the game, so I can't give you any live results from what I see for video. This would be essentially we follow on X from the Huskers account, or any media members we talk to, and here we'll have conversations about Nebraska football, Nebraska sports. If you want to talk NFL draft, I'm up for it. 402-464-5685. I think I'll off the bat get to this a non-Nebraska thing. Well, kind of Nebraska thing. It was kind of neat to see Ty Robinson go ahead of Shedeur Sanders in the draft. Of course, the big conversation is the fall of Shedeur Sanders, who was at one point seen as, at least a couple months ago, as a potential first overall pick. He actually falls all the way today to the 5th round. The Cleveland Browns pick Shedeur Sanders. So I would say at this point, I think a lot of people wanted to see Shedeur fail, but here's the deal. If you are a 5th round pick and you fail, you are not a bust. Not a bust. If Shedeur has a great career, again, all the conversation comes of, the mockery of a 5th round pick, getting his jersey retired at Colorado, and you can laugh all you want about that, but there's a chance here that Shedeur gets the last laugh. Think about that for a second. I mean, I think so many people are ready to criticize Shedeur and make fun of him if he went in the top 10 of the draft to the Browns or the Saints or somebody else and failed. And you could say, well, what a surprise. What a shock. This guy ended up being a bust. He's not a bust in the 5th round. Doesn't work out. Hey, how many 5th rounders don't work out in the NFL? A lot of them don't. So that's just part of the deal here. That's just part of the deal. So I'm happy he did not go undrafted. That would be a very odd conversation. Also, though, if you're a Browns fan,
maybe you weren't wanting him at number 2. Okay, good. You traded away and you didn't take Travis Hunter. You got a couple picks out of that, and Hunter went to the Jags. What Cleveland Browns fan, though, would not take Shedeur Sanders in the 5th round? I would think if you are a Browns fan right now, you are jumping for joy saying, we got a guy with a first-round assessment, a first-round grade on day 3, and not even in the 4th round, the 5th round for Shedeur Sanders. That's a huge win. Cleveland did something right. Even if it doesn't work out, that is a great pick for Cleveland in the 5th round. So we'll like to see the how this all works out for the Browns. We'll see how Shedeur Sanders does there, but he has a chance to be a number 2 quarterback if he has a great camp, great fall there, training camp in Cleveland. Why can't he start there? They have Joe Flacco. Deshaun Watson won't be playing this year with the injury, so have every chance to be an effective player with the Browns. So I'm excited to see what that looks like, and I'm excited that we won't have to just have a bunch of mockery about him being a first-round bust if it doesn't work out. 5th round, no bust. Big fan of that. But also congrats again, as I mentioned, to Ty Robinson, who goes in the 4th round to the Eagles. I saw a video. Cam Jurgens was talking to some people in New Jersey and was informed during this conversation that Ty Robinson had been picked by the Eagles, and he was absolutely ecstatic and said he's going to stop the conversation for a second and shoot him a quick text and get back to what he was talking about. I love that. I love the fact that we get to see a couple Huskers doing big things. Cam Jurgens gets the big contract, 4 years, $68 million, $39.2 million of that guaranteed. That guy's seen firsthand how good Ty Robinson is. And I just think the Eagles every year, you think about the Eagles, the Ravens, the Chiefs, all those teams almost every year, it seems like they just make the proper, correct pick. And that's why you see them consistently as playoff teams and winning playoff games. Ty Robinson in the 4th round to the championship Eagles is a huge win. Another guy that's just an alpha, who's a dog, that's going to be great on the defensive line. I'm not saying he'll start this year. They're so deep and so talented in Philadelphia, but what a great opportunity for him to go to a winning program, a place that has, again, just won the Super Bowl, has been there before in a couple of years previously, and is just going the right direction with Saquon Barkley, Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown. Howie Roseman is the great GM doing excellent work there. Nick Sirianni, again, a coach that people like to hate, but just won a title. You can't really hate on him. So happy to see Ty Robinson go to the Eagles in the 4th round ahead of Shedeur Sanders, who, by the way, again, goes to Cleveland in the 5th round. If you're tuning in, again, we'll do a roll call here, 402-464-5685. Text us your name, your age, where you're listening from today on a Saturday. This is not a typical time for you to hear me. Jake Sorensen here, usually 6 to 9 a.m. Monday through Friday, but doing a special today for our Husker games coverage all the way through 5 o'clock on the text line. Hello, Thunder Not Collins. Good to see you on the text line. Old Dad also on the text line. Bill and Bennett, thanks for showing up, guys. Appreciate you. YouTube got some comments. We got Simone on YouTube. He says, first black shirt taken by the Eagles and Stuart Bradley in the mid-2000s. Now, that's a big deal. Stuart Bradley, of course, a good linebacker for the Huskers. Played a couple years, had some concussion or injury issues with the Eagles. But good to see Ty Robinson make it there. Doug, good afternoon, Doug. Good to see you. Enjoy the day. Ty is an Eagle. Yes, 4th round. We got you there. And he's comments on Shedeur Sanders. He says, when I said that he was at one point a potential first overall pick, Doug on YouTube says that was before his interview. His stock then plummeted. One scout said the worst interview he'd ever had. Not many 5th rounders have their jersey retired. Again, we'll mock this for many years to come, but there's a chance still that Shedeur Sanders gets the last laugh. He cannot go down as a bust as a 5th round pick. You can say the whole draft lead up for Shedeur Sanders ended up being a bust, but there's no bust you can ever label in the 5th round as, hey, that guy was a bad pick. He's a bust. No, it's 2nd round and up. And usually, as we know, it's reserved for 1st rounds for busts and high-end 1st-round picks. Nobody's ever labeled a 5th round pick a bust. And so Shadur's safe there. Jim on Twitter. Great job, Jake. Old guy is South Lincoln. Hey, Jim, thanks for chiming in. Appreciate you guys. On the text line also, let's see. We got Timmy. Timmy is mailmanning it up in Lincoln. All right. Enjoy the road. Watch out for the crazy people there, mailman, and make sure that all the letters get to people on time. Thunder, not Collins. Got any jerky left? Yes, we have some jerky. Stop on by. I believe we have some in the back. Big B is driving back from Oklahoma on the text line. Doug in Northwest Lincoln with us. And Drew and Dakin says, surprised that the Eagles picked Ty Robinson because of how deep they are in the defensive line. Like I just said, the Eagles are an elite team. They have great talent on both sides of the ball. And if you are the Eagles, I mean, who do you get? Every position is solid. So why not get Ty Robinson, a guy that could push for playing time, a guy that if there's someone getting older on the defensive line, there's an injury. Well, guess what? This guy played 6 years of college ball. He got better every single year, and his motor is incredible. I mean, Ty Robinson will be a very good player in the NFL. It's just a question, does he play right away with the Eagles with how stacked they are? I think if you're Ty Robinson, you are ecstatic to go to that team specifically, a team that is developing defensive linemen to a very high level. I mean, I think it's Jalen Carter, the guy that had some questions coming into the draft a couple years ago, and he ends up just being an absolute boss in that defensive line. And that's what the Eagles do. They just figure it out. They just make elite picks, and they develop like crazy. And I respect that franchise. From the text line, again, 402-464-5685. We'll take your draft comments. We'll take your Husker games comments. This is your show today. I'm here to pilot it for you, to hear what you guys want to talk about. McSafety is out at Johnson Lake, out by Elwood/Lexington, working on a boat and listening in. Well, good afternoon to you, McSafety. Happy Husker games. Happy last day of the NFL draft. And we'll have updates here on the 6th and 7th rounds if any Huskers do get drafted to the NFL. I'm going to try to multitask this and keep on top of Twitter while also hosting this hour. By the way, after this, we'll have Nick Sainer and Aaron Davis, AD, following us from 3 to 4. Jake Bockover from 4 to 5. And then we will have a pregame for Lincoln Stars and the action for that at 6 o'clock here on the station. Justin and Hickman is trying to clean up the cars between stormers, but won't complain about the rain. Attaboy, Justin. That's right. We need rain. Isaac in Lincoln. Good afternoon, Isaac. Good to see you. Huskers P is also delivering mail in Kansas. We've got two guys delivering mail right now on a Saturday afternoon chiming in. Good afternoon to you guys. Thank you for joining us here on a Saturday on the Husker games here in Lincoln, Nebraska. Bill and Bennett says Dylan Gabriel is a way better quarterback than Shedeur Sanders. I'd like to hear your guys' thoughts on that. I mean, everything you saw, and I know people keep saying this, and I will make fun of it as well, that Mel Kiper Jr. has been advocating for Shedeur Sanders for months, and all throughout the draft on Thursday, yesterday, and today is all about whenever they'd show a quarterback getting drafted that wasn't Shedeur Sanders, he would find a way to bring up Shedeur Sanders. The head coach for Nebraska football, who's out right there on the sidelines a couple blocks from here at Memorial Stadium, advocated that Shedeur Sanders should be the 3rd pick overall in the draft. And I'm not trying to slight Matt Rule at all. That's not me making fun of Matt Rule. That's saying that there was many people that believe Shedeur was a top 3, top 5 pick. And he goes in the 5th round. So I would ask you then, where was the disconnect there? Where was the disconnect between guys like Mel Kiper Jr., even Todd McShay to a certain extent, Matt Rule, Nebraska head coach, that you could have a guy seen as a top 5, top 10 pick go to the 5th round? Like, we've never seen something like that. I mean, we mocked a couple years ago. I mean, not a couple, many years ago, when Geno Smith of West Virginia was in the green room at the draft when he was back in New York City and thought he'd be a, top 15, top 20 pick. Ends up going, I think, 40th or 50th to the Jets. Doesn't pan out. And now here's Geno now with a good contract with the Raiders. Revived his career with the Seahawks. So he got the last laugh of that also. But that's like the extent of a guy we've seen drop way further than what they're supposed to be. We've never seen someone as a top 5 pick go in the 5th round. Like Randy Gregory, for example, at Nebraska, we all know Randy Gregory, thought to be maybe a top 10 pick. The Cowboys loved him, and they got him in the 2nd round. But there's a situation there. There was a problem with marijuana use. Weed was a problem, and this is not breaking news. We all knew this. It was an issue for Randy Gregory. And so teams said that's concerning. There's a red flag there. And that's why he dropped to the late 2nd round. But that is not the 5th round. 1st round to in the 200s is what Shedeur Sanders went. And I don't think he has the talent to say he's a 5th round quarterback. I think that's a steal for the Cleveland Browns in the 5th round. It's a steal in the 3rd round. 2nd round, I could give you, hey, this is still a bust territory, but 3rd round and beyond is not bust material. So I want to know where the disconnect was between guys like Matt Rule, Mel Kiper Jr., other draft guys who had Shedeur as a high 1st round pick to go in the 5th round without any sort of drama out there of a drug test issue or some sort of, arrest. None of that stuff happened. None of it happened. You saw him hanging out with his family in Texas for 2.5 days now. Old Dad on your text line says, I think the disconnect with Shedeur was his attitude and his dad's involvement. Okay. We all knew that, though. Like, that was known ahead of time. It wasn't like, hey, it's a shocker. This guy, by the way, is Deion Sanders' son. No, really? You really? We knew that. So I don't know if I can. I thank you for the text, Old Dad, but this is all stuff that we knew. We knew Deion Sanders could be a problem, or at least something that bothered people. But we've known that the whole time. And he was at Jackson State. He was went to Colorado. You followed him to Colorado. Was the starting quarterback. This is not breaking news. It's not breaking news about the attitude either. So I want to know if someone knows more than me in terms of how bad these interviews were before the draft. Like, what are we talking about? Like, what was said? What was said by Shedeur that was so bad that he could go from a 1st round athletic talent to a 5th round pick? I don't know if anything that you guys tell me, unless there was something really, really crazy that he said that would indicate that is a proper thing. Huskers piece says it's his personality and his dad. Again, things that we knew, and Mel Kiper knew that when he assessed him as a top 10 pick. And Mel's, and again, I'm picking on Mel, but Mel's not the only guy. How many drafts out there, mock drafts, had Shedeur going in the 1st round? I'd say almost all of them did. Whether you agreed it was going to be top 10 or top 20 or late in the 1st round. Like, I'm watching the draft on Thursday thinking, okay, someone's going to trade up. Like, think about years ago when Lamar Jackson with the Ravens traded up to get him with the last pick of the draft of the 1st round at 32. And the rest is history with that. I thought that we'd see a situation where somebody traded with the Eagles or the Chiefs at 31 or 32 to get Shedeur. It didn't happen. And now he's a 5th round pick. Bill and Bennett says Shiloh is a Sanders too. I bet nobody wants him. I don't know how. We'll see exactly what happens with him. I'm trying to get an update here, by the way, on the Husker games. If you want to text 402-464-5685, text or call as always. This is just an hour of talking about NFL draft, Nebraska sports, whatever you want. We'll talk about it here on a Saturday afternoon here on 937 The Ticket. Updates. I know I don't talk NBA, but there's a final score. The Cavaliers absolutely blow out the Heat in Miami, 124-87. That is a really embarrassing loss for the Heat at home. No Garland today for the Cavs. Did not matter. They blow them out, up 3-0. Mitch Sherman, who, by the way, will be part of the media crew that's doing the media challenge of catching a punt at some point, I believe, in between the 3rd and 4th quarter of today's Husker scrimmage. Put out a picture right now. He says the Husker games are underway. Similar size crowd that we'd see here at Memorial Stadium for the Class A high school championship. I'm zooming in on this picture, and yeah, it's
It's not large. There's nobody at all in the south or north sides of the end zone. It looks like more of the 100 level is about 3/4 full on both sides. So I have to assess it's about 10,000 maybe. If I'm wrong, if you guys have heard a number on the figure of what to expect or what you're seeing, I'm guessing this is around 10,000 at the absolute most for the Husker games. But I'm also not very good at projecting attendance without seeing numbers. That's admittedly a fault of mine. Not very good at that. But we will give you some more updates on the Husker games as they come. In the meantime, we'll take a quick break. If you want to again chime in, you can call or text us at 402-464-5685. When we come back, we'll have some more thoughts on the NFL draft, some more thoughts on the Husker games. Take your comments on YouTube also and Twitter /X and Facebook. We will have more here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Back in a few minutes.
This is James Harrell with NP Dodge Real Estate. When I became a licensed realtor, I wanted a brokerage that would help me grow in my new career. I found that in Lincoln First Realty. When Lincoln First was acquired by NP Dodge, the training and support I received only got better. I love knowing I have the power of the NP Dodge brand behind me. I would recommend NP Dodge to new agents looking to jumpstart their real estate career and to current agents who want to take their business to the next level.
Expand your career with NP Dodge. Call Eric at 402-434-2222.
Hi, everyone. Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. Spring is here. Summer is fast approaching. With weddings, vacations, and weekend getaways on your mind, do not let car issues prevent you from getting where you need to be. Car problems shouldn't be something that you put up with. Let us get you back on the road in comfort and safety. We diagnose all makes and models from Porsches to Hondas, Toyotas, and Chevrolets. We fix a variety of issues with all of them with our talented techs and our experienced staff. A1 Automotive at 11th and L, downtown Lincoln, always honest answers.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
At Fairway Meat Market, you're family, and as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. Fairway has fresh cut meats, seafood, cheese, wine, and spirits, and a friendly staff that's always ready to help you find what you need. Stop by Fairway Meat Market today to plan your weekly meals in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center, just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
A lot of businesses say they're family focused, but when tough situations in life arise, the business wants anything but your best interests. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring, and they will always treat their employees like family, just as they do their customers. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring Class A and B CDL drivers, a shop tech, and a diesel mechanic. If you're looking for a career with a company that goes above and beyond to value you and your family, apply today at jamesenterpriseinc.com or call 402-432-6740.
Constructors is now hiring for all positions with pay starting at $23 and up based on experience. Constructors has immediate job openings for mechanics, bridge builders, operators, and drivers. Start your new career today. Constructors offers great pay, health, dental, and vision insurance, paid time off, paid holidays, and so much more. Join the crew today and be a part of Nebraska's oldest paving company dating back to 1908. For a complete list of openings and to apply online, visit constructorslincoln.com.
Fight fans, May 3rd, Dynasty Combat Sports hosts the first bare-knuckle boxing bout ever at Pinnacle Bank Arena, pitting Lincoln's Tower Robinson against McCook's Thomas Thatcher. Additionally, MMA bouts will see champion Nate Morrow battle Nebraska City's Brett Minner. University of Nebraska wrestler Tyler Berger makes his pro MMA debut, and Hunter Green takes on Husham Zadow for the amateur featherweight title. Also, professionals Brady Minner, Sean Lindgren, Justin Weaver, and the debut of another Nebraska wrestler, Bubba Wilson. 16 fights are scheduled Saturday, May 3rd at Pinnacle Bank Arena. Fight cards subject to change. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com or at the Pinnacle Bank Arena box office.
Your new Total Wine in Lincoln has the largest selection of wines, spirits, and beers, plus totally low prices and friendly service from our helpful guides. With over 8,000 wines, 4,500 spirits, and 2,500 beers, you're sure to find your favorites and something new. You can even order delivery, in-store, or curbside pickup. Find what you love what you find. Only at Total Wine & More. Now open in Lincoln next to Gateway Mall.
Drink responsibly, B21.
Fleet Feet Lincoln is excited for the upcoming spring season and the warmer temps, and they want you to get outside and be active. Fleet Feet's Fit ID process takes a free 3D image of your feet to help runners and walkers alike find comfortable tennis shoes and inserts that ease pain associated with plantar fasciitis, bunions, and more. Get back on your feet this spring with the trip to Fleet Feet, open 7 days a week at 77th and Pioneers. Authentic Mexican food is not always easy to find, but you can find it in Lincoln at Tacos Los Hermanos. Their birria tacos are worth the drive from anywhere in town, but their chicken, chorizo, al pastor, and asada tacos are also worth the trip. You can also try any of those meats in a burrito or quesadilla. You won't find a better toppings bar in the area or better dessert options. If you can't get there, don't worry, they do deliver as well. Stop by Tacos Los Hermanos for lunch or dinner today at 70th and Havelock Streets in Lincoln.
93.7 The Ticket is your home for every Kansas City Royals baseball game. Bobby Witt Jr., Salvador Perez, Vinny Pasquantino, and the rest of the Royals attempt to make the postseason for the second season in a row. And you can hear all the action on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Your home for Kansas City Royals baseball.
Mike, the insurance company wants us to replace the roof.
Wait, what? I thought everything was fine.
Yeah, it says right here our roof is too old and they won't be able to cover us anymore.
I guess it is 15 years old. Hi, I'm Austin with Roofing Service Company. We help homeowners with their roofing and siding projects. Financing options are available, and we can get you under a new roof no time at all. If this sounds like you, visit roofingservicecompany.com. That is roofingservicecompany.com. 93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize to participate in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the KNTK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contests, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket. All right, 402-464-5685. Call or text is always special edition throughout the day of Ticket Weekends. I'm Jake Sorensen, host of Early Break every weekday from 6 to 9 a.m., helping you out all the way till 3 o'clock. Nick Sainer and Aaron Davis will join on at that point for an hour. Then Jake Bachhoven, 4 to 5, and then we will have a pregame for Lincoln Stars with Jackson Kleinschmidt here on the station. But thank you all for all the texts at 402-464-5685. Also the comments on YouTube as well. Let's see here. We got a couple of things I want to read here. By the way, update on the NFL draft. I was just seeing how far along they were. As of right now, the NFL draft is still in the 5th round. The Bills just picked Jackson Haas out of Georgia Tech. So 3 more picks in the NFL draft for round 5, and round 6 will follow. Only Husker so far taken, of course, Ty Robinson in the 4th round to the Eagles. I'd like to know. Let's make it a guess here, texters. Let's have a prediction here. 402-464-5685. We've got 3 picks left in the 3rd round. Sorry, of the 5th round of the draft, and we have the 6th round and the 7th round left. There's 1 Husker taken so far. Call your shot, Nebraska fans. How many Nebraska players, including Ty Robinson, will have their names called by the end of today, round 7? So far, 1 player. 3 picks left in the 5th round, the full 6th round, the full 7th round. How many Huskers will be drafted by the end of today? We know they will not go without anybody get drafted, thanks to Ty Robinson going to the Eagles. So we will not have another year of talking about shutout from the draft. Now, the 1st round conversation is a different story. That's now 14 years of no 1st round picks for Nebraska. That's painful. It stinks, but that's the reality we have to deal with here, and hopefully that changes in the near future. But I'd like to know from you guys, what's your official pick for drafted players for Nebraska
knowing that right now we had just one so far, Ty Robinson, who went, by the way, before Shedeur Sanders, 5th-round pick to the Browns, Ty Robinson to the Eagles. And if you want to say which players they are, I mean, is it Thomas Fidone? Is it Isaiah Nayor? Is it Tommy Hill? Tommy Hill is still pretty high on people's boards in terms of best available. So we will see if he gets drafted. But let's go to the text line. Big B is saying 1. So 1 total. Are you saying Big B 1 is in Ty Robinson? That's it. And the rest go to free agency. Doug is still saying 4. He's saying 4 with Ty Robinson. So 3 others, including Ty, will hear their names called from Nebraska in the next couple rounds. I'm thinking, about comparisons. Obviously, y'all know at this point that I'm a sad diehard Miami Dolphins fan. The Dolphins in the 5th round picked 2 players from Maryland defensively. As I recall, the Maryland defense was not elite this last year. It was okay. But this might surprise all of you who will follow me for a while, or maybe your new listeners. I'm actually okay with the Dolphins draft. This never happens. I'm always panicking. I didn't love the Kenneth Grant pick on Thursday right away, but after some research, this guy is a big dude, 340 pounds. He's going to stop the run. They got a big guy from Arizona as a left guard or maybe even a tackle. Jonah, the Samoan from Arizona, is going to be a bad man for a long time in the NFL. Got a Jordan Phillips from Maryland, defensive lineman. Also Slater, defensive back from Maryland. And then they got a cornerback from Florida. So I'm sitting here okay with the Dolphins draft for the first time in years. I know that feels odd. Cupsker says 3. He's thinking Tommy Hill and Thomas Fidone will go before the 7th round. So you're saying these are 6th-round picks for Tommy Hill and Thomas Fidone. We'll see about that. Jackson in Nashville. Good afternoon, Jackson. He says, I'm feeling 3 picks. Tommy Hill and Fidone are next. All right, so same as Shamia, going with 3. Cubsker also said that. And Doug, as I mentioned before, says 4 players, he says, from Nebraska will get drafted. It's getting late. 2 picks to go as the Cardinals just picked Denzel Burke from Ohio State, a cornerback. So 2 picks to go in the 5th round, and then we will see the 6th and 7th rounds to close out the action in the NFL draft. Again, we've mentioned this already, but the story of the draft so far is the drop of Shedeur Sanders, who goes in the 5th round to the Browns. We'll talk about that for a long time and probably for years to come. And for him, now, if you were a person that was making fun of him, I hope you root for him and you celebrate him, because he's had to go through a rough time here going in the 200s of the draft. And for him to have to, in the 100s of the draft, for him to wait this long is tough, and he can't be a bust in the 5th round. So you can't use that as an angle of rooting against Shedeur Sanders, but he's going to have a chance to play in Cleveland. Tim A says 2 more drafted. He thinks the Dolphins should take Fidone at the top of the 6th round. I would say there's a chance for that. The Dolphins could use a tight end. I thought that when they picked Kenneth Grant in the 1st round at 13, there was an outside chance they might take Tyler Warren, who they did not take. He went next pick to the Colts at 14. I think the Dolphins could be in play for a tight end. Is it Fidone? Who knows? Could be a different tight end, but I don't hate that pick, Timmy. And Cupster wants to clarify, says it could be actually 3 picks by the end of the 7th round. So no matter what, it's going to be an interesting afternoon hearing how these players do in free agency. You have a lot of guys who have people interested in them, and that's kind of that's how you fill up your practice squads, and we'll see if those guys can have some success and make some rosters, but we're rooting for them regardless. Let's see. Got some comments here. Simone on YouTube says, I just think Fidone, and that's it so far beyond Ty Robinson, so I'm going to go with 2 picks. I'm just saying, I cannot wait for the day, and it's going to be, maybe we laugh at ourselves, maybe we don't. I can't wait for the day where we get to celebrate a Nebraska 1st-round draft pick. I will repeat this because I know I've said it on the show Thursday, I said it on Friday. It needs to be repeated because it's painful and it needs to stop. North Dakota State, since 2016, has had 3 players drafted in the 1st round. That, of course, was Carson Wentz, 2nd overall, to the Eagles, who had a good run there. Then he got hurt, and it didn't pan out well for him at the end. Trey Lance, of course, was a bust for the Niners at the 3rd overall pick. Now he's bouncing around the league. And then Gray Zabel, offensive lineman, gets drafted this in the 1st round on Thursday. That's 3 North Dakota State players in the 1st round in the last 9 years. It's been none for Nebraska. Their last one, of course, Prince Amukamara in 2011. If you're getting an elite player in the 1st round, like a Gray Zabel of North Dakota State, I don't. It doesn't have to be flashy. I don't need to have a receiver or a quarterback go 1st round. Why can't we have a 1st round lineman, defensive lineman, offensive lineman, anything? The weight that we've had here is ridiculous for a program like Nebraska. I think about Northwestern, for example. Northwestern has been, they've had a couple nice years with Fitzgerald before he got let go, and David Braun had a surprise 8-win season a couple years ago. But they've been usually in the dumpster of the Big Ten. They've had 1st-round picks. Rashawn Slater was a 1st-round pick as a left tackle to the Chargers a couple years ago, still playing. They've had other guys go 1st round, 2nd round, and we make fun of them. Purdue has had players go in the 1st round. I think about George Karlaftis of the Chiefs, 1st-round pick for the Chiefs. Very good player. Picked him late in the rounds. Nebraska, this streak has to end. This is almost more embarrassing than the 8 years that they had of no bowl games. But the fact that they, have gone this long without a 1st-round pick, it's just sad. Teams like Buffalo have had 1st-round picks since Nebraska had a 1st-round pick. Can't happen. Can't happen like that. Let's get an update on the draft. We have the 5th round is now complete. No Huskers in the 5th round, so just 1 so far with two rounds to go in the NFL draft for Nebraska. Ty Robinson, 4th round to the Eagles. From an update, I'm going to X here for an update on the Husker games. Also, by the way, if you are for some reason there and listening, can you let us know? Get a picture, maybe text it 402-464-5685 or tweet at 937 Jake Sorensen. If you're there and listening, I appreciate you. Thank you. Per Sam McEwen says the black team turns over the red offense on downs on a sack by Goldman and Duda. Hofkin with the pressure. David Hofkin, the German, with the pressure. There is an update on the Husker games. It's really hard to track this with no TV at all. But I do appreciate those. It sounds like it looks like TJ Lateef and Marcos Davila both threw picks back-to-back possessions. So that's not great for Nebraska's quarterback room. But again, these are the 3rd, 4th, 5th stringers there. So that's going to happen. Update there on the NFL draft. By the way, it was Tanner Turch with the pick in the spring game for Nebraska. I think that was on Marcos Davila there for that one. We will take it to break. We will have one more segment when we come back. If you want to chime in before we pass it off to Nick Sainert and AD, feel free to chime in on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, or text 402-464-5685. One more segment for me here on a Saturday afternoon on our ticket weekends, our Husker games and Husker conversations. More next on 93.7 The Ticket.
You don't have to cross your fingers when digging into the ground this spring. Start every project with a call to Nebraska 811 so utilities like LES can mark their buried lines and you can avoid injury and power outages.
Make plans to join 93.7 The Ticket and the Amon Green Foundation for the 1st annual Nebraska Esports Golf Tournament on Monday, June 9th at Wilderness Ridge. It's a 4-man scramble starting at 11 a.m. that will feature former Husker greats, including Amon Green, Johnny Rogers, Niles Paul, Tony Davis, Adam Carricker, Rashawn Jackson, and more, with great prizes and great golf. Sponsorships are also available. Email Jake at theticketfm.com for more questions or sign your team up online at theticketfm.com. Early bird registration goes through April 20th, and overall registration goes through May 30th.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize to participate in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the KNTK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contests, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket. Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstoRats.com for amazing offers, and if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats. Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call today at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
At Allo, we go beyond internet, bringing you faster speeds backed by an all-fiber network. We go beyond TV and phone service, delivering reliable, crystal clear connections. We go beyond customer service with local teammates and no robots for a hassle-free experience. We go beyond value, offering transparent prices with no contracts, hidden fees, or data caps. We even go beyond our office doors by working, hiring, volunteering, and living in the communities we serve. Go beyond fiber. Sign up today at allofiber.com.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just their professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, their passion, for happier, healthier, furry friends.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Make sure you tune in every Saturday from 11 to 12 for all things youth football with Tank Perry and Jim Sandman. Learn how the game of youth football has grown in and around the capital city with coaches, athletic directors, and league commissioners telling you all about it. It's all things youth football with Tank Perry and Jim Sandman every Saturday from 11 to noon right here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket. Every Saturday morning now in our new time, we're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
It is a Husker game Saturday here in Lincoln, Nebraska. Spring game underway for football, volleyball this evening, soccer also. Sounds like it was a very good turnout this morning also at the I guess the garage sale of sorts to buy all the different stuff. DP had a lot of stuff he bought, so good to see that stuff. I heard that AD was there, Farley was there, so a lot of our Husker, our staff stopped by to buy some swag. They'll probably be showing off here today or Monday on the shows.
I'm Jake Sorensen, again, host of Early Break from 6 to 9 a.m. every weekday on the station. Appreciate you hanging out this afternoon. Nick Sainert will be next with AD, who, by the way, was at the spring game. He'll give a report from what he saw there. You can still chime in at 402-464-5685. NFL Draft has hit the 6th round. The Buffalo Bills, the first pick of the 6th round, about to be made there. It is made. Dorian Strong, cornerback, Virginia Tech. Ravens on the clock, then the Dolphins back on the clock. As we said in the last segment, only one Husker so far, Ty Robinson, 4th-round pick. We'll see if Thomas Fedoni goes, Tommy Hill, Isaiah Nayor, or anybody else. But as of right now, only one Nebraska player picked so far as the 6th round is underway from the NFL Draft in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Can we comment, though? I know we mentioned this on Friday. Just to going back in time. Wasn't it cool to see our very own Amon Green on the stage in Green Bay for the first round? That's awesome. They said Green Bay Packers all-time leading rusher Amon Green, who does radio with us every weekday on the station from 9 to 11 a.m. with Nick Sainert, Chris Raff, Aaron Davis. That's the cool stuff you see here with the ticket. We see our guys doing big-time things. So shout out to Amon for being in Green Bay, for being recognized, being represented. Appreciate that. And by the way, also plug, speaking of Amon Green, while we're here on a Saturday, Amon Green's having a golf tournament. We're part of it. June 9th, Wilderness Ridge. If you want to sign up for this, you can email either myself, Jake Sorensen at jake@theticketfm.com, or Nick Sainert at nick@theticketfm.com to sign up for your team. 4-man scramble. Also, if you want to be a sponsor of that, possibly we do have some whole sponsorships available. But it's a 4-man scramble, 11 a.m. at Wilderness Ridge on Monday, June 9th. Amon Green, also Niles Paul will be there. We'll have Johnny Rogers on the scene, Adam Carricker, Rashawn Jackson, Terrell Farley. So stop on by, play in the Amon Green golf tournament for his fundraiser as the first annual of those. We look forward to seeing you guys for the 4-man scramble there at Wilderness Ridge on June 9th. But looking to see if there's any sort of updates here from the Husker games. I did tell you there's a couple interceptions. Marcos Davila and TJ Lateef both threw some picks early in the spring games. Nothing to report since then. It appears again. This game is not on TV. There's no visual component to this. I was asking Nick, who is here, what his estimate of attendance was. He has somebody that's at the spring game. And it sounded like he said in the range of 5,000 to 7,000 people in a good maybe 10. They might report it at 10, but we don't know. It's not a huge crowd. As we said in the show, it was on Friday. We kind of felt bad in advance for the players who were talking about how they looked forward to seeing 30 to 40,000 Husker fans at the spring game. No, and us knowing that was probably unlikely with the way this was marketed and how it was, informed of what was going to be happening as of Tuesday of this week. So maybe next year, it'll be different. We'll see a spring game as it used to be with hopefully bigger crowds and maybe you see the ones play a series or so, but that's not the case this year. And if you're there enjoying it, we hope you have a great time. If you're not, then we'll hit reports of that throughout the show today and also this weekend, and we'll give updates on Monday. I know Steve Sipple is at the game, so I'll get to talk to him when he is on the show on Monday. But until then, we will just follow the reports we have from that. I did mention, and I saw this posted again from Cam Jurgens, that Cam was in New Jersey when he heard the news that Ty Robinson was going to be an Eagle, and he was ecstatic. He stopped what he was doing to text Ty, and said that he was happy to see him as a Eagle. And once again, if you're Ty Robinson, you're going to a place that expects championships. They just won one this past year. What a great place to go to. By the way, Miami Dolphins just picked, and they pick a name that had a great year 2 years ago, a quieter year last year, but Ollie Gordon III, the Oklahoma State running back, goes to the Miami Dolphins in the 6th round. Huge year 2 years ago, quieter this past year, but certainly a guy that has had some success. But regardless, that's not a Husker, and that means no Husker still besides Ty Robinson. Reading a couple texts here before I get out of here and pass it off to Nick and AD from YouTube. Simone says, do we really think that Jalen and Dylan are better than Shedeur Sanders, and why would the Browns pick up 2 quarterbacks? The Browns got Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders. I'm curious how that looks. I mean, if you're the Browns, maybe you're making a statement by saying we think Dylan's better than Shedeur. But at the time, when it gets to the 5th round, how do you pass up Shedeur Sanders? That's a guy that does have talent. You can hate on him all you want and criticize him and doubt him, but to leave him on the table in the 5th round is craziness. And that's why they couldn't do that. So, let's see here. A couple more texts before we get out of here. Chad and Seward says, seems like a marketing fumble, which Nebraska rarely does with the spring game. Again, opportunity to see the spring game return in all its glory next year. Maybe sometimes you just need to have a year off with it being different to realize how much you miss it and how the bars and the Haymarket and downtown and the hotels could use it. But, and also let's think, if Nebraska has a good year this year in football, if they win 9 games, does it just come back naturally? Think, hey, the excitement's back. Where Nebraska's thinking playoffs again next year if they have a great year. I hope that would just bring the spring game back naturally versus it being forced upon us. Okay. I'll tell you what, that's going to do it for us. Let's see if I can get a final update on the draft. Kyle McCord, quarterback, just went to the Eagles at number 181 in the 6th round. So nice to see him go. Of course, a guy with Nebraska ties at one point thought he would be the Huskers quarterback this past year, but when he learned that Dylan Raiola had committed, he opted to go to Syracuse instead. Had a wonderful year at Syracuse. And now he's a 6th round pick of the Philadelphia Eagles, Kyle McCord. We will pass it off now to Nick Sainert and AD, who will join us here for the next 3 o'clock hour. That's it for me. I am Jake Sorensen. I will see you on Monday morning from 6 to 9 a.m. Up next is Nick Sainert and AD. More of our Husker games and Husker conversations on a Saturday here on 93.7 The Ticket is next. Adios.
Get ready for the largest dirt late model event in Nebraska, race fans. The Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series is heading to Eagle Raceway's High Bank Heist on Thursday, May 15th through Saturday, May 17th. See the greatest dirt late model stars in the country compete for $10,000 to win on both Thursday and Friday, and an enormous $50,000 to win 75-lap main event on Saturday. The High Bank Heist, May 15th through May 17th at Eagle Raceway. For more info, visit eagleraceway.com. Let's go Lucas Oil Late Model Racing. Eagle Raceway, just 10 miles east of Lincoln on O Street.
Hey there, fellas. It's your girl Jordan with Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Picture this. You're in the doghouse and flowers just won't cut it this time. Enter jewelry, the ultimate peace offering. It's a gesture that speaks volumes, showing her you're willing to go the extra mile to make things right. So next time you're in the doghouse, remember, diamonds are a guy's best friend too. Until next time, this is Jordan at Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Happy shopping, guys.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Make plans to join 93.7 The Ticket and the Amon Green Foundation for the first annual Nebraska Esports Golf Tournament on Monday, June 9th at Wilderness Ridge. It's a 4-man scramble starting at 11 a.m. that will feature former Husker greats, including Amon Green, Johnny Rogers, Niles Paul, Tony Davis, Adam Carricker, Vershawn Jackson, and more, with great prizes and great golf. Sponsorships are also available. Email Jake at theticketfm.com for more questions or sign your team up online at theticketfm.com. Early bird registration goes through April 20th and overall registration goes through May 30th.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get?
Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with taco night on Mondays or whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
At Valentino's, we're on a mission for tradition. On every slice, for every bite. Golden baked crust, cooked to perfection every time. Savory sweet sauce that's made from our own secret recipe. Loaded with the perfect amount of fresh toppings and melty mozzarella cheese. It's the tradition that Nebraskans have come to love. From game day to every day. Valentino's. Taste the tradition.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. Spring is here. Summer is fast approaching. With weddings, vacations, and weekend getaways on your mind, do not let car issues prevent you from getting where you need to be. Car problems shouldn't be something that you put up with. Let us get you back on the road in comfort and safety. We diagnose all makes and models from Porsches to Hondas, Toyotas, and Chevrolets. We fix a variety of issues with all of them with our talented techs and our experienced staff. A1 Automotive at 11th and L, downtown Lincoln, always honest answers.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Fleet Feet Lincoln is excited for the upcoming spring season and the warmer temps, and they want you to get outside and be active. Fleet Feet's Fit ID process takes a free 3D image of your feet to help runners and walkers alike find comfortable tennis shoes and inserts that ease pain associated with plantar fasciitis, bunions, and more. Get back on your feet this spring with a trip to Fleet Feet, open 7 days a week at 77th and Pioneers. A lot of businesses say they're family focused, but when tough situations in life arise, the business wants anything but your best interests. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring, and they will always treat their employees like family, just as they do their customers. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring Class A and B CDL drivers, a shop tech, and a diesel mechanic. If you're looking for a career with a company that goes above and beyond to value you and your family, apply today at jamesenterpriseinc.com or call 402-432-6740.
Right now, when you drive by Honda of Lincoln, you'll see more than 200 new Hondas and over 125 pre-owned vehicles. Hi, Charlie Stone here, and with me on the line is Andy Goodyear of Honda of Lincoln. Andy, how does it feel to have so many vehicles in stock again for your customers?
Charlie, it feels amazing to see how excited our customers are. They love the ability to see, test drive, and take immediate delivery of the exact new Honda they're looking for.
Do you have some good offers to talk about?
We sure do, Charlie. We're offering financing as low as 0.9% APR up to 72 months, or great lease rates on every new Honda. It's the perfect time to drive away in the new Honda you've been dreaming of.
How about pre-owned, Andy?
We have over 125 pre-owned and certified pre-owned vehicles to choose from. Just about every make and model with prices starting at under $10,000.
Maybe it's time you experience the best, the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business. 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
NEPCO is hiring CDL drivers for ready-mixed concrete in Lincoln. With 3 plants across the city, there are plenty of opportunities to start or grow your driving career. They offer great pay, medical and retirement benefits, paid time off, and they cover the cost of CDL training. Apply today and receive a $2,500 hiring bonus. Since 1908, it's the employees that have formed the company's solid foundation. Start your career today with ready-mixed concrete. Visit nebcoinc.com. That's nebcoinc.com.
93.7 The Ticket is your home for every Kansas City Royals baseball game. Bobby Witt Jr., Salvador Perez, Vinny Pasquantino, and the rest of the Royals attempt to make the postseason for the second season in a row. And you can hear all the action on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Your home for Kansas City Royals baseball.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today. What is up? Welcome in. Happy Saturday as we continue special broadcasts of the Husker games, Husker conversations. Jake Sorensen wrapping up the 2 o'clock hour. Now we turn to myself, Nick Sainert, alongside Aaron Davis. What's up, AD?
Man, it is good to be here, brother. It's good to be here.
Here we are on a Saturday. It's been a busy Husker weekend.
Yep.
There's so much to get into, not only about the events that are happening today, but the events that are happening later on this afternoon and evening, but then also some other stuff that's going on throughout the course of the weekend, because you have some important series going on in the diamond with Husker baseball, Husker softball.
Yes.
One of those teams won yesterday. The other one did not yesterday, but they get a chance at a get back later on this afternoon around 4 p.m. or so. But let's first start with this. 402-464-5685, the Honda of Lincoln hotline, the Starter Heyman text line are both open, as well as the Starter Heyman Jewelers live video stream, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Allo channel 961. Let's start with this. What seems to be the biggest hit of the day so far, and that was the equipment sale. You were there.
Yeah, Nick, it was absolutely insane this morning seeing the line. And if you go on the Huskers Twitter page, you'll be able to see just how long that line actually was.
Yeah.
I mean, there were people literally running to get inside there. People had wagons full of stuff. There were boxes full of stuff. DP was there. I was there. Yeah. Big shout out to Ben Russell, Jack Russell's son, Farm Bureau Insurance, of course. But Ben Russell was there. Ben ended up getting a helmet. And I'm going to tell you how old this picture was. It was of Hawks Field, but the sign, Nick, and you'd been young, it had Garden Cafe on top of the dugout. That's when the Garden Cafe. Yeah. So he got a picture with that on it. But I was blown away, Nick. They were literally, so this suit I have on, I've had this one for years, so I didn't buy this one there. However, though, the tops, $25. The bottoms, $25. Actually, I think they were $25.
Yeah.
Normally, these go for $90 a piece.
Exactly.
Shoes for $25.
That's what's crazy. And I will say that I appreciated that fact.
Yes.
That they truly made it essentially like a garage sale.
They really did.
It was a massive garage sale.
They really did.
The prices weren't inflated, which they could have.
They could have easily inflated.
And knowing Nebraska fans, just because the way that everybody acts, knowing Nebraska fans, guess what? They're probably going to pay it. If they have a chance to get a true, authentic Husker football helmet, customize their own like they had the opportunity to today, they would have paid a couple of $100.
They would have paid it.
But they didn't need to today. And I thought Nebraska did a really good job. They had the silent auction or online auction that was going on the last couple of days with some real unique stuff and collector items online that you could bid on that certainly were catered to maybe a higher class.
And they made money.
And they made a lot of money.
They made a lot of money.
But then an event like today where I think it's important to acknowledge being realistic. We've seen the pictures. I've talked to multiple people that are there at the Husker games right now. They knew that the Husker games, the scrimmage more specifically, probably wasn't going to be the big sell today. It was, how do we get people here early?
Right.
How do we get them to come downtown, enjoy the environment? And it was basically by doing something like an equipment sale.
I thought it was genius, Nick, in that that equipment sale. I don't know. Have you heard any numbers as far as numbers?
Nope. And I don't know if we will.
We might not. But I will tell you this. There were, and I'll post this on Twitter here in a bit too. The number of people that were in there. I was there. DP was there. Rico, our former teammate. Well, always our teammate. Rico was there. I met Hizzlebear.
Okay, that's awesome.
I met Hizzlebear.
Nice.
I met a number of people.
Great.
A gentleman named Adam that works out in Waco heard me say something at the cashier. He's like, AD. I was like,
that's
hey,
great.
how you doing, man? But there was a number of people there that listened to the station. So we appreciate the shout outs there. But I thought the university did it. It was very fluid how they set it up. The tables were set up, to where everything was just, the right way. The only thing I'm pissed about, Nick, I didn't get shorts.
Yeah.
The shorts were going for what, $10? $10 for shorts.
Yeah.
The hats, not this one, but I got an all black Nebraska hat that were $5. So like to your point, the price point was very friendly.
Yeah.
The price point was very friendly.
Which we talk about it on the show all the time. When you do that, guess what? I'm sitting here going, I'm willing to spend more. Like I could go in and I could be like, you know what? Okay, I'm good with spending $300 today on some stuff. But if I'm going to get only 2 items for $300, I'm probably less excited to go.
Nick,
But today, if you know, hey, you know what? I can bring a crisp $100 bill. I can get mix and match. I can get a couple of shirts. I can get a couple of hats. I can get a couple of pairs of shorts. Maybe I can get in line early enough for a Husker signed volleyball.
Right.
Like when there's opportunity to get some multiples.
Yeah.
And when there's just opportunity to get some real unique items that Husker fans don't get their hands on. Like we talk about it all the time, whether it's Husker football, basketball, baseball, whatever it might be, that when we watch press conferences, man, we wish we could get some of that Matt Rule sweatshirt. Man, I wish we could get that Herbie that has the bat in his arms. And a lot of it's not available. A lot of it for just the casual fans, it's not available. Today, the ability to go and say, you know what, for an affordable price, I can have a chance at getting some team issued stuff.
Right.
Yeah, I'm going to take advantage of that.
You know what was cool too, Nick? Like the pricing. So I ended up walking away with a number of baseball jerseys, the button ups. I got some for my sons, a few other friends, some stuff for people who had sent me some stuff in Raffy, few jumpsuits for because they had 3X.
Yeah.
Because they're bigger guys there. So 3X is there. But what was really cool to see, like you mentioned, it was cool to see some of the kids and their families there. So there were things that were affordable.
Yeah.
That was the part I appreciated the most because Nebraska, because they could have easily said, you know what? They go for $90 retail. A pair of these pants that I'm wearing right now that I've had for years.
Yeah.
These would go for $90 as you know at Shields or something like that.
You go to another store. That's what I'm saying. You go to a retail store and you're paying a couple hundred for 2 outfits, essentially. Hazelbear, this is perfectly in line with our conversation.
Hazelbear texts in? Hazelbear's a big dude.
Is he?
Yeah, he's tall. Dude, he looks like a power forward.
Hazelbear texts in, says, I snagged 8 pair of tall sweats, 6 pair of shorts, 2 pair of shoes, and 5 posters, a flag, and a hooded sweatshirt for $261. So just doing the quick math there, that is, what is that? 5, 6, 7, 9, 15, 23 items for $261.
Hazelbear, thank you for introducing yourself, man. It was a pleasure meeting you, brother. Hazelbear's a big dude. Hazelbear, did you play football or basketball? Let us know, man, because Hazelbear's a big boy, man. And I'm talking about in shape.
Like Raph size?
Hazelbear's, I would say Hazelbear's 6'4", 6'6", 6'4". I could be wrong. Hazelbear 6'4", 6'5". Let us know. Because Hazelbear's a big dude in good shape, but he had a lot in his hands.
Oof.
And only 200 and something bucks.
$261. That's what I'm saying.
He had a lot of gear.
We have this conversation with concession stands all the time of like, and I make jokes about the whole price per bite, like PPB stuff. Well, it's authentic, and I truly feel that way. I mean, we see Coastal Carolina doing the extreme in football to where basically if you go to a game, guess what? All concession stand items are free. I'm not saying you have to do that.
Right.
But guess what? I'm probably going to make a couple of frequent trips to a concession stand for water or for a beer if it's more affordable. And so this is a perfect example today of you make something a little more affordable, and you're gonna have people that are willing to spend more money.
Nick, I'm not going to say my sources, which I would tell you off the air, but I'm going to find out what they made today.
Yeah.
I'm going to find out. I know you can too. Though.
I'm sure. And Hazelbear is 6'7", but it says he's put some respect on it. He's 6'7".
He's like 6'4". He's a big dude, man. Hazelbear's a big dude. He looks like a power for it.
Yeah.
Hazelbear, you stay in good shape too.
Yeah, there it is. But anyway, I just think like this goes to show. I understand these are businesses and companies, and there's a lot of times there's middlemen and like middle companies, third party companies that have to make their cut. So I'm well aware of how kind of the business side of it works and how you need to pay everybody, right? But ultimately, on an event like this, where we talk so much about ad nauseum about NIL and you got to make the money, and does Nebraska have enough money in the bank, and is 1890 spending the money, like all this, that, and the other, on a day where they could have jacked up the prices. It is appreciated. I think I speak on behalf of all the fans and people that were in attendance today. It is appreciated that they didn't.
They did, man. Nick, let me ask you this, man. In Hazelbear, let us what read is what he got again?
He got 8 pairs of sweats, 6 pairs of shorts, 2 pairs of shoes, 5 posters, a flag, and a hooded sweatshirt.
Good gosh.
$261.
And his will tell you this as well. There were people, Nick, that had wagons, little wagons,
Is that
like
right?
shopping wagons, and it was stuffed with stuff.
Well, and you know what I hope? I hope this doesn't turn into, and only time will tell, since this is the first real, I keep wanting to call it an estate sale. It was not. Basically a garage sale, an equipment sale.
Mm-hmm.
I hope it doesn't turn into people reselling it.
I didn't think about
that is the one thing I'm concerned about when you talk about people with wagons, people with these massive things, is because guess what? Yeah, we talked the same exact thing we're talking about right now about how things were so cheap. There's people that will want to go then put it on eBay or put it on Facebook Marketplace and say, look, hey, I got a signed volleyball by the entire 2006 national championship team. And I mean, not me. I bought it for $15-20. Hey,
I'm selling it for $80.
$300.
Yeah.
Collector's item.
And you know what? Nick, I did think about that
take.
in that because I was with Ben Russell in line, and Ben actually brought that up. I still didn't think about it, but he brought it up in the line. He goes, do you think I resell this stuff? And I was like, that's an interesting point.
I don't like it. I mean, it's unfortunate.
There were, and Nick, there was a poster, one of my favorite. I was telling Raph this. In fact, to the folks, Raph's only about 2 hours away from Huntsville. He left about 4:30 this morning, so he's making great time.
Yeah, we did get asked, can we get a Raph update, please? Let's get a Raph tracker started. We just talked to him. Just talked to him.
Yeah, I was talking to Raph on the way in here. Raph's he's going through Nashville, so he's only about 2 hours away from Huntsville. But he left sharp at 4:30 this morning.
Yep.
Beat all the traffic, etc. So, Raph, love you, man. Just talk to you. Safe travels to you, brother. You got about 2 hours left, and he will be in Sweet Home, Alabama. But so I was talking to Ben. He was wondering about if they were going to. Was just curious if people were going to just resell it.
Yeah.
Because Nick, the amount of stuff they had there was a poster there. That's the point I was going with. There was a poster, and folks that are probably over 35 would probably remember this poster. Actually, probably over 40. It was the scoring explosion, Nick. So it was Irving Fryer. You remember? You seen?
Yeah, I've seen. Yeah,
it's Irving Fryer, Turner
popular.
Gill, and Mike Rozier. And Raph said that those were remakes, not the originals, but remakes. But they were still sweet.
Yeah.
But my thing was though, and Hazelberry, I was like, where am I going to put this at? Because Hazelberry saw me. I had my hands full. And they give you bags once you get through.
Yeah.
But you can only have so much stuff. So I grabbed a bunch of stuff at first, Nick. And then when I got to the side, I sorted. I'm like, okay, do I really want this right here? Because the prices, there was a jacket that was $20. But I'm like, AD, are you really going to wear this jacket? Probably not. So I put that back. I put about 4 or 5 items back.
Wow.
But yeah, it was.
That's surprising for you. No offense. That's surprising.
It is. But I was like, how am I going to carry it?
Yeah.
Because I Ubered down because I didn't want to worry about parking.
Yeah.
And then I was thinking, I'm literally walking through campus with all these grocery bags full of gear. So it was just, I can't applaud the university enough. I know with the spring game, I was down there. And in fact, Nick, I'll send you this. I might even post it, but I'll talk with Jay first. I'm going to send it to our group chat. But they got Will Compton and Jay talking on the big screen about the game, the black versus the red, etc. They hyped it up. And then I dipped out of there. So I wanted to be down here with you on this part. But, they were in the stadium. And I'm terrible at numbers, Nick. I would estimate. Now, folks, do not hold me to this. I would guesstimate 3,500 maybe.
Yeah, it looked, and I saw somebody tweet this out, and I would agree. This is one.
Is that a fair number, Nick? You think?
I thought it looked very familiar to like a state championship game.
That's a great play. That's a great way to say it.
I think that's exactly kind of what I felt like. The north and south end zones are not filled. They don't even have anybody in them. Everybody's sitting on the east and west sidelines and stuff. And ultimately, I think that was kind of what you expected. I mean, unfortunately, from a excitement standpoint, I actually know there's a lot of excitement with the Husker volleyball game taking place later tonight. There's so many storylines with the Husker volleyball match that we've talked so much about Husker football and the equipment sale that we're not even considering or haven't even brushed on the statement or headline that it's DBK's first game or first match as Nebraska volleyball coach. It's the first time in the 21st century. Since John Cook started, that it won't be him on the sidelines. It's the first game after Nebraska basically replaced their equivalent to Nick Saban.
Nick, let me ask you this, man.
It's bizarre to think about.
With you think about that point right there, segueing into the volleyball aspect of it. How different is it? Let me ask you this. Okay, and text line, let us know this too. But Nick, I'm gonna ask you this first. Now, I know you're younger, but at the same time, and fans that are old enough to remember, but Nick as well, do you think it's similar, Nick, to when Solich took over for Coach Osborne to see a different figurehead on the sideline? For such a fixture as in T.O., such a fixture in Cook, and then you see DBK take over. Do you think that's going to be odd for people tonight?
I think it's strange. I would say though, with Frank Solich, there wasn't the previous success that he had as a head coach though. That's where it makes it. That's what makes it very interesting with DBK and Danny Busboom Kelly is you throw in. I think the equivalent for Nebraska is John Cook and Tom Osborne, right? But then you throw in of the replacement. Danny Busboom Kelly took Louisville volleyball out of the depths of the volleyball world and made them a nationally recognized program.
Yep, legitimized.
And so there's not a whole lot. And obviously I was 3 when, or no, I wasn't 3. I was a little older or younger when Frank Solich took over. I was 3 when he got fired in 04. But my thing was, I'm sitting there going, doesn't feel like there's a whole lot of concern or worry about drop off with this volleyball program which is so bizarre after a legendary coach such as John Cook leaves.
I think that is a great point, Nick, that you mentioned. There's not been a lot of discussion about the lull of the program, what's going to happen, because I think people know, like you mentioned, she's a bona fide. She gets it done.
Yeah, I think everybody's confident of it being in capable hands.
We've seen what she's done at Louisville. Like you mentioned, she brought a program out of the depths of the basement into a national contender.
Yeah, I just think that's super fascinating. And then on the Kansas side, they hired away a new coach from Oregon. So Oregon's old coach is now with the Kansas Jayhawks. And so, a lot of times these spring matches, they are, I don't want to say not throw away, but they're against some inferior competition. That's not the case with Kansas.
No,
like Kansas had a down year, but ultimately they're a pretty consistent NCAA tournament team. Kansas volleyball they have been over the last 10 years. Nebraska's faced them in the postseason a couple of times in the last 5 or 6 years later in the postseason as well. And so that's where it's like, I would imagine that a lot of people are going to be pumped up for the volleyball match tonight.
Yeah, I think so too.
Just because we are at a place like Nebraska, you have it being Danny Busboom Kelly's first game, I think, or first match. I think there was also, we got a text on the text line about how there was, reported 6,000 tickets sold or so. I think a lot of that, though, for the Husker games this afternoon and today was for the equipment sale. Not to jump back and forth in the conversation,
no, it's legitimate.
But though. I think like there was a lot of people that I would talk to as well that were like, yeah, you know what? Don't know if the rain's going to hold off. Don't know what the weather's going to be like. We know that the creme de la creme players, if you will, are not going to be active in the Husker games. Don't really care about the strongest man competition. But man, if all I need to do to get into that equipment sale is to buy a $25 ticket, then I'm going to be there.
Nick, I'm sorry, we are going back to it again. And Hazelberry, yes, I would definitely take a Scoring Explosion poster, man. If you want to come down the stadium.
Yeah, if you actually want to do that. Yeah.
All 6'7" of you. And I'm going to short you at that 6'4". I'm going to put some respect behind that name, Hazelberry.
Yep.
But yeah, I would dedefinitely take one of those posters, man, if you still got one. I was going to make a call down to the university and see if I can get one of those. But Nick, it's with the landscape of college sports right now, and I'm going to stick with you one more segment too. The landscape of college sports right now, for Nebraska to say, you know what, we're going to try to salvage something.
Yeah.
So why not give our fans a good price on amazing product?
Yep.
It brought, so Ben Russell, because they had the 8:00 tours this morning.
Yeah.
Then I think they had another time that was later than that as well.
They had tours at 8, 9, and 10 a.m. this morning.
So I'm sitting there, and the equipment sale opened up at 9:00, and there was a huge influx of people that came after that. There were people that, from what I heard from the people inside, there were people waiting outside at 5 a.m. 5 a.m. for an equipment sale. Our very own Sarah that was here. Yeah. I saw Sarah there as well. Nice. She had a wagon. She had some volleyball. She scooped up some volleyballs there as well. But I'm just going to tell you this. And I was telling one of the guys on staff down there who's new, and I'm not going to mention his name, but he was one of the new ones. And I said, you know what? This is just real, folks. This is not bashing Nebraska. It's reality. For a team that's not been ranked in the top 15 in how many years, Nick?
It's been a long time.
A long time.
I would imagine that it was 2017 or 2016. Mike Riley was the last time.
9 years ago, almost 10 years ago, when you look outside the Hawk Center, and you've seen that line go all the way down. I mean, just like blocks and blocks.
Yeah.
That's what, and Nick, as I'm sitting there as an older guy now, and Nick, me growing up, and some of the folks that are older growing up, we were always successful, always. But it made my heart happy to see all those folks still wanting to be there to purchase Husker gear. Nebraska, dude, and it just, and I think Rule and company see it, and some of the guys that I've talked to on staff, they see it. And I think they notice, like, you know what? These fans are dying for something. I'm not like, obviously not literally, but from a fan's perspective, to see Nebraska relevant again. And today was a total.
It was a perfect indication.
It was a perfect indication of that, man.
I just think that, which it does. I mean, it doesn't make Nebraska
doesn't make us any wins.
Well, yeah, it doesn't. But what I was going to say is, it certainly doesn't make anybody's job easier.
Right.
I think it only intensifies.
Right.
With every agonizing defeat and every painful
that's
season.
A great point.
I think it just intensifies here. I don't know if Nebraska will ever get to a point of apathy. I just don't like.
No,
and I don't think it's gonna like. It's not Nebraska taking it for granted, but I think it's the farther and farther you fall, the harder and harder it is to climb back up.
Yeah, it is.
And so Nebraska has fallen and fallen and fallen. And so now it's what can you do in April to at least begin the process of climbing up? Does a spring game, does a Husker game, does the strongest man competition really do that? No, right?
It's good theater.
It is. It's great. It's great theater. It's going to produce some, content, social media wise, things like that. Sure. But it felt weird today. I'll say this. It felt weird driving downtown and thinking, okay, there's something going on at Memorial Stadium. Doesn't really feel like it, though.
You know what, Nick? You are spot on with that, because folks that I know downtown that I stopped to after the garage sale, or the equipment sale, what do you want to call it? They were like, it's just, establishment that was open. They were just like, it is, but it's not.
Yeah, like you hear, as
you hear the microphone.
I would say we're a couple blocks away from the stadium down here, and walking in, you can hear the PA announcer and things like that, and it's like, okay, yeah, cool. They got a lot going on, but then you walk around and you're able to get parking spots.
Yeah,
and it's just weird. It's just weird. You don't know how to feel.
It's pretty
because we're so accustomed to. Whenever something's going on in that incredible space, in that incredible arena, this place is popping.
Yeah, it is.
And so I think this is an adjustment. This is a first year of an adjustment. I know we're sticking around. We'll take a break in just a second, but ultimately, I was texting back and forth with a couple of season ticket holders that are actually at the Husker games right now, and I'll say it verbatim: is their response was, meh. Very unorganized, but garage sale was elite. And then then they replied a couple of minutes later and says, although unorganized, still fun though, and it's always special to be in Memorial Stadium.
Yeah.
And so I think that just goes to show that this is an adjustment period.
Yeah.
This is certainly
for
all schools, but I think it was an adjustment for the fan base because we talked about it multiple times. I didn't really know what to expect. No. And also, I was real skeptical of this being a success. Not the equipment sale as much, but just the entire, rest of the day as scheduled.
Right.
I think skepticism just naturally creeps in. This is such a dramatic change for everybody. For the young, we always talk about how Nebraska losing is not so much of a dramatic change for the younger generation because people my age are just accustomed and used to Nebraska being no better than 10 wins, and 10 wins is a special season. But then for people your age, AD, it's completely a 180 from what you grew up with.
Right.
However, not having an event like a spring game at a place like Nebraska, where it consistently drew over 75,000 people, that is something that affects every fan, young, old, and in between.
Well, economically as well.
Yeah,
You know,
sure.
You think
sure.
about the restaurants down here, hotels, etc. That was almost counted as an extra home game.
Yeah.
That was counted here. Of course, we see the crowd that's walked by here
Yeah.
right now, but you, Nick, like you mentioned, man, before they were doing the spring games, it would be basically like a home game that was done here.
Yeah.
From an economic standpoint. But in this new landscape of collegiate sports, everything what you just mentioned, Nick, that, in my opinion, is the exact way that college sports is just kind of this weirdo world right now.
And I think it's an adjustment, specifically, today in the events and the schedule. It's an adjustment, adjustment situation for fans. It's adjustment for the universities and the programs. And so I think today going into it, sure, maybe the chillier weather plays a factor into it, but I think there was a lot of just, I'll just kind of wait and see. We'll find out what it looks like, what it feels like. What is it, appear to be? Is it something that maybe next year I'm going to want to participate in? I don't know. And then, we talk so much about the equipment sale.
Dude,
what's the longevity of that though? Well, and that's where I'm curious, because
that's a good point.
Like, what is the longevity of the equipment sale? Is this something that Nebraska is going to be able to do year after year?
Well, I tell you what, the amount of stuff they sold this morning, and of course, with the Adidas distributors for each of the programs, and the number of the teams, etc. There'll probably be some stuff they'll have, but I tell you what, that was a massive success today.
Yeah,
it was well organized. The only thing, here's my only thing I wish they would have done, for the equipment sale. And I know that's hard for them to provide. If they would have had little pulley carts or shopping carts, but I mean, we're not a grocery store, so Nebraska don't want to keep shopping carts for something to do once a year. That's not a smart investment. But it was so well organized. I mean, the checkout was smooth. I mean, the lines were long because there were so many people there. It's a great problem.
Of course.
But the lines and I would say probably DP and Rico, and Hizzlebear, let us know how you thought it went, because I wasn't too far behind Hizzlebear.
Yeah.
I mean, for that many people, I thought it moved fairly quick. My only problem was my big thing is my back's jacked up and I was holding all this stuff. Well, the AD don't get so much stuff. So Nick, I told you, I put some stuff back. And I'm like, am I really going to take this? But I thought the athletic department, the equipment room, big shout out to those guys and gals. They did a great job of making that thing flow. And the price, Nick, I'm still tripping the price. I'm still pissed.
It's like the Masters concessions.
Oh, dude. Yes. Well, no, I've been to Masters, but I tell you what, I would suspect to be something like that.
Let's go to break. We got so much more to talk about. The Pittsburgh Steelers drafted a quarterback. We got to talk about it. Don't say anything, AD.
I'm not going to say that.
We got to talk about that. We got to talk about just from it's the storyline that everybody's talking about. The fall in the draft of Shedeur Sanders. We got to just give our initial thoughts on it now that he does have a team. It's almost for me less about Shedeur now and more about the Cleveland Browns. Because we need to talk about that current quarterback situation and all the names and decisions that they did to go out and bring in a couple of guys. Then they draft multiple quarterbacks. Kind of mind-boggling. I don't know if they're taking the survival of the fittest approach or what the case may be. Johnny Holstaff at quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. We'll talk about the NFL draft, give you an update on that. Have any more Huskers gone? We'll talk about that. We'll update you from what's going on just a couple of blocks north of us here at 1040 O Street. From Memorial Stadium as the strongest man competition is going on. Henry Lutovsky, I just saw your guy. He just benched 225 25 times.
That's
just
some
did
good money.
25 reps at 225. Let's take a break. Nick Sainert, he's AD. We'll be right back here on a special Saturday edition of Husker Conversation, 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with taco night on Mondays or whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
A smoke-free environment is the only way to fully protect from the dangers of secondhand smoke. That's why smoke-free policies are so important to me. Whether it's in my car, apartment building, or when I'm dining outdoors, there's no place for secondhand smoke or e-cigarette aerosol. Breathe easier knowing the facts. Visit smokefree.ne.gov. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Runners, are you ready? The 48th Annual Lincoln Marathon takes over the streets on Sunday, May 4th. Whether you're chasing a personal best, conquering your first race, or just in it for the bragging rights, this race is for you. Sign up for the full or half marathon today at lincolnmarathon.org, but don't wait, spots are filling fast. Join thousands of runners or line up along the course to cheer them on and make race day unforgettable. The Lincoln Marathon and Half Marathon, your finish line is waiting. Register now at lincolnmarathon.org.
Your new Total Wine in Lincoln has the largest selection of wines, spirits, and beers, plus totally low prices and friendly service from our helpful guides. With over 8,000 wines, 4,500 spirits, and 2,500 beers, you're sure to find your favorites and something new. You can even order delivery, in-store, or curbside pickup. Find what you love what you find, only at Total Wine and More. Now open in Lincoln next to Gateway Mall.
Drink responsibly, B21. Nebco is hiring CDL drivers for ready-mixed concrete in Lincoln. With 3 plants across the city, there are plenty of opportunities to start or grow your driving career. They offer great pay, medical and retirement benefits, paid time off, and they cover the cost of CDL training. Apply today and receive a $2,500 hiring bonus. Since 1908, it's the employees that have formed the company's solid foundation. Start your career today with ready-mixed concrete. Visit nebcoinc.com. That's NEBCOINC.com.
Make sure you tune in every Saturday from 11 to 12 for all things youth football with Tank Perry and Jim Sandman. Learn how the game of youth football has grown in and around the capital city with coaches, athletic directors, and league commissioners telling you all about it. It's all things youth football with Tank Perry and Jim Sandman every Saturday from 11 to noon right here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
When opportunity knocks, you don't want to miss the call. Hamilton Business Technologies makes communication easy and efficient using customized technology, all while putting people first. Whether you're working from the office, at home, or on the go, Hamilton Business Technologies equips your business with the right tools for smooth, professional call handling. Hamilton Business Technologies. Real people, real technology solutions. Learn more at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Buckle up and hang on. This is going to be a good one.
The fans of Kansas Speedway know how to have a good time. One that celebrates fantastic finishes.
Crash together. So close.
And family-friendly facilities. Trading paint.
We got feuding.
And tailgating tradition. Burnouts. Beer. And barbecue. Oh, it'll for sure be a good time. And you are all invited. NASCAR weekend at Kansas Speedway, May 9th through the 11th. Get your tickets now at kansasspeedway.com.
Now's the time to schedule your air conditioner service check with Bryant. Make sure it's ready to keep you cool and comfortable when you really need it. Call Bryant Air Conditioning and Heating, 467-1111.
Join Main Street Beatrice for their annual Beer, Wine, and Spirits Festival on Saturday, May 3rd from 4 to 8 p.m. with VIP entrance at 3 p.m. Enjoy an afternoon of live music and unlimited tastings of Nebraska beer, wine, and spirits at Envision Landscapes and Garden Center. There's something for all palates, and you only pay your entry fee. Food and snacks are available for purchase at the event, as well as off-sale beer, wine, and spirits from vendors. Tickets are only $25 ahead of time or $30 at the door. This fun day is for adults 21 and over only. Buy your tickets at mainstreetbeatrice.org or on the Main Street Beatrice Facebook page today.
It's the two-fingered wave on a gravel road. It's letting the kids take Dad's truck to prom. It's Friday nights under the lights of a hometown football field. Eustace Body Shop knows small towns. It's where our values are rooted. We treat our people right, and in turn, they treat you, our customer, right. And we give back to our communities. Not much more small town than that. Eustace Body Shop, small town service, big city technology.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
Step into healing at Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery. Our team of top-notch medical professionals turns pain into progress with state-of-the-art treatments and compassionate care. Visit prairieortho.com and discover the difference in quality orthopedic and plastic surgery services tailored to your unique needs. Your health matters, and Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery is dedicated to helping you thrive. Reach your full potential. Embrace a better tomorrow with Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery.
Fight fans, May 3rd, Dynasty Combat Sports hosts the first bare-knuckle boxing bout ever at Pinnacle Bank Arena, pitting Lincoln's Tower Robinson against McCook's Thomas Thatcher. Additionally, MMA bouts will see champion Nate Morrow battle Nebraska City's Brett Minner. University of Nebraska wrestler Tyler Berger makes his pro MMA debut, and Hunter Green takes on Husham Zadow for the amateur featherweight title. Also, professionals Brady Minner, Sean Lindgren, Justin Weaver, and the debut of another Nebraska wrestler, Bubba Wilson. 16 fights are scheduled Saturday, May 3rd at Pinnacle Bank Arena. Fight cards subject to change. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com or at the Pinnacle Bank Arena box office.
Hey, bestie. Whoa, how'd you snag that awesome set of wheels? I'm in the market for a new car, too. My friends at Members Own Credit Union. You're always in the driver's seat when it comes to your finances at Members Own. Always in the driver's seat, huh? Yep. They set you up with a loan that makes sense for your budget with great rates and top-notch customer service to boot. Looks like we're going to need to make a pit stop. Let's go. I'll drive. Hit the road to financial success and explore auto loan options with your best financial friend, Members Own Credit Union. For details, go to membersowncu.org/drive. Federally insured by the NCUA.
We're back here on a Saturday afternoon, taking you through the 3 o'clock hour as Nick Sainer, AD, alongside. AD, what does this quarterback room do for you that features Deshaun Watson, Kenny Pickett, Joe Flacco, Dylan Gabriel, and Shedeur Sanders? What are your thoughts on that quarterback room?
Which one?
The quarterback room of Deshaun Watson, Kenny Pickett, Joe Flacco, Dylan Gabriel, and Shedeur Sanders.
I'll say this is very interesting. Before we even go there, Raph took a picture of going through Nashville in the stadium. Right. So he's going through that area. Nick, I'm first of all, we probably go there. You're a smooth salesman. I said, I'm going to come here for 1 second. I look at the clock. I canceled the Uber because of you. It's 3:41, 3:42. But you know what's for Nick? Why not, man?
Well, we only have 18 minutes
18
now.
minutes left. So it's like, why not?
We have 18 minutes and another segment after this one. So now we went long in the first one.
Yeah, it's like, I'll do this last segment. Nick, I'm intrigued by
18
it. 18
more minutes.
Yeah, 18 more minutes. I'm intrigued by it. Shedeur, of course, gets picked up by the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah.
And what you just mentioned right there. I think, Nick, here's my thing that's interesting with them. What does Cleveland still do with Watson, though?
Oof. I don't know. I don't know if Cleveland knows what they want to do with Deshaun Watson.
They've already paid him $200 million. 200
yeah,
plus.
and it was all guaranteed. It's just bizarre. By the way, the draft is currently on or round 6, pick 21 is what pick they are on. It's currently the Houston Texans on the clock. I don't know what Cleveland's gonna do. I find it's
like the elephant in the room, bro.
So strange that you use and you utilize a pick on Dylan Gabriel, and then via trade, you use that pick to then draft another quarterback.
Cleveland going Cleveland.
Well, like, are they saying, okay, we have room for one and there's the new rule where you suit up 3 quarterbacks and stuff.
Right.
But Kenny Pickett backed up Jalen Hurts last year on the Philadelphia Eagles, won a Super Bowl. Deshaun Watson we can take Deshaun Watson out of that conversation, out of that quarterback room right now. You go and sign Joe Flacco in the off season here, who Joe Flacco actually, when he came in a couple of 2 seasons ago, he was a big reason why you started winning games. And then, like we just said, you don't use 1 draft pick on a quarterback, but you use 2. I don't understand the direction.
God, dude, I have no answers for it whatsoever, man. I literally have no answers. Another group text I got with some other buddies of mine. He's a huge Cleveland Browns fan. He's just like, I don't understand what's going on right here. I just don't. I just don't, Nick. You still got, like I said, you still have that all of that with Watson.
Yeah.
That guaranteed money. The only good thing about that is most of it, I mean, like I said, they've paid that chunk, but it's like, what are you going to do with him? Now you bring these other guys in. I just don't know what they're, and you know what? Here's the thing about it too. Maybe they're looking about, I don't know, using this trade bait. I have no idea. I have no idea what Cleveland's doing.
And maybe they're just sitting there saying, you know what, maybe Shedeur, we strike gold. He figures it out.
And they got him on the cheap.
And so he just calls it good from there. How about this though? There's been multiple quarterbacks taken in the 6th round.
Mm-hmm.
None of them have been named Quinn Ewers. Graham Mertz was just selected by the Houston Texans. Previously, how about this? Riley Leonard, Notre Dame's quarterback, taken with the 189th pick overall. Will Howard was taken by your Steelers. I'll get your thoughts on that in just a second. Kyle McCord was taken 181st overall in the 5th round. The last pick, or excuse me, it was it was pick number 5 of the 6th round. 181st overall. Kyle McCord was taken. Thoughts on Will Howard?
I am not upset with that pick with Will Howard. He's someone that's going to be, first of all, he's 6th round, so it's not going to cost you a lot. And you're still hoping that you got Rudolph there. Obviously, he's not. I mean, it's not a knock against Rudolph. It's reality. We've seen this game tape before. There's still hopes that you get Aaron Rodgers signed.
Sure.
And you got a young guy in Will Howard. And you know what? Think about this. Will Howard did win a national championship. Okay. Is he a guy for Nick? I'm just going to say for me, he does not jump off the page to me. Does he jump off the page to you?
No, but he's won a national title, and he's also won a Big 12 title.
Yeah, exactly. Was at K-State. He's won a Big 12 title there. Will Howard, and what I mean, preface this. What I mean by jumping off the page, he's not a guy that has that just like that factor. However, though, he gets it done. Like you mentioned, he won in the Big 12. He's done the same thing in the Big 10.
Yeah.
I think it's a great pickup for the Steelers. From a financial aspect, it's great. You're still waiting to see how, obviously, maybe you sign an Aaron Rodgers, something like that in there, but you got Rudolph in the hold. Again, Rudolph is not the guy I'm saying that's going to take Steelers to the promised land whatsoever. But you do got Will Howard. You do got a young quarterback that you can form and see what happens and goes with that route. But I have no qualms with it whatsoever, man. No qualms with it.
I will tell you this. The actual, and it's funny because Jake Sorensen should be happy. The steal, in my opinion, of the 6th round came at pick 179 overall. The Miami Dolphins selected Ollie Gordon II from Oklahoma State, a running back, 6'1", 226 pounds. Didn't have a great draft grade coming into it. People forget, though, how good Ollie Gordon was after the 2023 season. He could have left college, and this is where we've actually seen it backfire now. Ollie Gordon could have left college after 2023. 2023, he led FBS in rushing yards. He had 15, ranked 2nd in rushing touchdowns in 2023. He downhill runner, Ollie Gordon, came from Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State had an atrocious 2024 season, an abysmal 2024 season. He goes back to Oklahoma State after that 2023 season, says, I'm going to come back for my senior year, has a down year in comparison to his first 3 seasons, and now goes in the 6th round. This is a guy that was a Heisman front runner at one point in 2023. He was talked about as the favorite or a top 5 favorite to win the Heisman in 2024 going into the season, had a down year because of not only himself, but of everything else going around him. We know all the stuff with Mike Gundy and whether or not he was going to resign and whether or not he was going to get fired from Oklahoma State. And then ultimately at the end of the day, Ollie Gordon now falls all the way to the 6th round. If you would have said that back in 2023, people would have called you crazy because he looked like a top 1st round, top 2nd round type of guy. And here he falls to 191st overall to the Dolphins.
And Nick, it shows you how quickly that something shiny this year sometimes can lose its shine the following year.
Oh, yeah.
So sometimes you got to strike when the iron's hot. I mean, he took a gamble, and here we are. He goes, and you think about from a financial aspect how much that's cost him. But, he goes there and puts in work. We'll see what happens. But, man, if he would have dipped out last year, it would have been probably, 1st round most likely.
Yeah. So far, only one Husker selected. That was Ty Robinson with the 111th pick overall.
to the Philadelphia Eagles. So Ty Robinson there. Not that I put much weight into what Skip Bayless says. I can't even believe that I'm going to say this, but Skip Bayless did tweet out and said, wow, the Eagles got another future Pro Bowler all the way down with the 111th pick, Ty Robinson. So that was kind of interesting to see, but I, once again, don't put much weight into what we hear from Mr. Bayless. All right, let's take our final timeout. Nick Standard, AD. We'll be back to wrap up the 3 o'clock hour right after this on The Ticket.
Rain, snow, or shine, John Henry's is here to keep your home's plumbing systems working properly no matter what kind of weather Nebraska throws at us. From unclogging toilets and drains to installing new water heaters and water treatment systems, John Henry's is your plumbing expert in the Lincoln and Omaha communities. Visit us at calljh.com or call
John Henry's.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
and electrical.
93.7 The Ticket is your home for every Kansas City Royals baseball game. Bobby Witt Jr., Salvador Perez, Vinny Pasquantino, and the rest of the Royals attempt to make the postseason for the second season in a row. And you can hear all the action on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Your home for Kansas City Royals baseball.
If you want to make new floor shopping easier, come to O Street Carpet. Hi, I'm Steve Carper. Our flooring professionals can help you choose the best flooring for you, your family, and your budget. We eliminate the confusion. Even better, you'll be enjoying your new flooring much sooner. No 6 or 8 week waits. We'll install right away and save you money on installation. Floor shopping made easy every day at O Street Carpet.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with taco night on Mondays or whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
Big Brothers Big Sisters is bringing back Bowl for Kids' Sake. Create a team, raise donations, and join the bowling celebration at Sun Valley Lanes and Games on May 2nd. Every contribution helps to create and support one-to-one mentoring relationships for Lincoln's young people. Learn more and register today at bbbsmidlands.org under the Events tab. Big Brothers Big Sisters, igniting the power and promise of Lincoln's youth for over 50 years.
Hello, this is Mary Pat Waite. I've had the privilege of working with Lincoln families as their realtor for more than 31 years, and I'm so proud to be associated with MP Dodge Real Estate. For me, your transaction is unique in its own way. My experience allows me to bring you trusted care and a really great outcome. My NP Dodge family shares the same client focus.
Expand your career with NP Dodge. Call Eric at 402-434-2222.
Attention all Wings fans, Buffalo Wings and Rings has daily specials that will make you want to stop in on all days of the week. Kids eat free on Mondays, and on Tuesdays enjoy 40% off boneless or traditional wings at a price that makes the whole family happy. And come back on Wednesdays for $1.39 chicken tenders all day long. Get to Wings and Rings today, 68th and O or in Williamsburg Village. Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstoRats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats.
Spring is here. It's time to get back outside and into proper shoes this year. Brown's Shoe Fit is the place to buy this spring with their sale on athletic shoes. Get $15 off any regular priced athletic shoes with respected brands like Hoka, Brooks, New Balance, and On Running. And don't forget, Brown's carries a large arrangement of sizes and widths to fit your feet properly. Start your spring off right at Brown's Shoe Fit, just south of 66th and Q in Lincoln. Unearth the secret to long-lasting tires at Tread's Central Tire Pros, a league apart in commitment, service, and expertise. This isn't just about rubber meeting the road, but trust, safety, and surety converging in perfect harmony. This is where expectations are exceeded every time. Make your appointment today at Tread Central Tire Pros, just south of Cortland on Highway 77, or visit our website to explore our services. Remember, when it comes to tires, choose Tread Central Tire Pros because we tread differently.
Step into healing at Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery. Our team of top-notch medical professionals turns pain into progress with state-of-the-art treatments and compassionate care. Visit prairieortho.com and discover the difference in quality orthopedic and plastic surgery services tailored to your unique needs. Your health matters, and Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery is dedicated to helping you thrive. Reach your full potential. Embrace a better tomorrow with Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery.
Welcome back in. One final time, just a couple of minutes here before we wrap up the 3 o'clock hour and hand things off to Jake Bakoven to take you through the 4 p.m. hour. And then, man, oh man, it's a big night in Lincoln. Not only in addition to the Husker games that are going on with Husker soccer getting ready to take on Wyoming here at 4 o'clock over at Hibner Stadium, but Husker volleyball later on this evening at 7 o'clock against the Kansas Jayhawks in a spring match. But then what about right across the street from the Devaney Sports Center at the Icebox? The Stars in the second round of the Clark Cup playoffs continue to enjoy home ice advantage as they play Waterloo. It is game 2 tonight against Waterloo. So yeah, if you're making your way over to that area, whether it's the Icebox or whether it's the Devaney Sports Center, allow ample time, because not only will you have the insane traffic of Husker volleyball, but you'll have the additional traffic of playoff hockey. And they usually do a really good job alleviating traffic over there. But give yourself some time, give yourself some extra time to allow for not only normal game day traffic, whether you're going to Husker volleyball or the Stars game, but for both of them, because they'll be both going on at around the same time. Husker match at 7 o'clock and the Stars puck drop at 7 as well. I was going to say this. The one, not even gripe, but just thing that I am disappointed about going into the rest of your Saturday. Here in a couple of minutes, Nebraska baseball will play Maryland at 4 p.m. This game going to be taking place on Big Ten Plus. Huskers fell to the Terps yesterday, 12-5 out in College Park. And so now on the year, Nebraska, the Husker baseball squad, is sitting with a record of 19-23. They're 7-12 in the conference overall. But you look at Nebraska as they get ready to face off against the Terps in just a couple of minutes. Wouldn't that have been nice to have a home series for like Husker baseball and Husker softball this weekend? They did that a couple of years ago where they specifically and strategically scheduled, this was back when they did the spring game, but they strategically scheduled the spring football game right before Husker baseball had a big series. And Nebraska, I believe Nebraska had Rutgers in town, who was a pretty good baseball team. They were a 40-win program a couple of seasons ago. But it's super disappointing, and it's of no fault of anybody. It's just me babbling here. Super disappointing and kind of a bummer that neither Husker baseball or Husker softball, your top 20 ranked Husker softball squad, neither one of them are in town this weekend. That's the only bummer that I was going to say. However, you look at the other piece, Husker softball out in Washington. I was watching that game last night on Fox Sports 1. Jordy Ball was in the circle. And I tweeted this out, Nick_Sainer. I tweeted it out. Jordy Ball had 10 strikeouts through 4 2/3 innings. And if you don't feel like doing quick math, that is 10 of the 14 outs recorded up to that point. Jordy Ball had struck out. 10 of the 14. Only 4 batters got out via batted ball. That's absolute insanity. And if you haven't been able to either watch on television, listen on the radio, or head over to Bolin, highly recommend you do that. Other than that, let's go ahead and get out of here. I'm going to hand things off to Jake Bakoven, and I'm going to actually get probably prepared for not only Stars game, as I'm going to make my way over to the Icebox, but also dabble over to the spring match as Husker volleyball gets ready to square off against Kansas. So we're going to reset things here for me. Hey, Jake Bachhoven will take you through the 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. hour here on 93.7 The Ticket, as I will get over to the Devaney and to the Icebox at some point later on this evening. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks to my man Aaron Davis for hanging out with me for an hour as well, because appreciate him stopping by and talking about what he experienced this morning from a former player standpoint, Aaron Davis. So thanks to them. Thanks to everybody on the text line. Make sure you continue the engagement through the 4 o'clock hour. It's been great. Nick Stainer, talk to you in a couple of days on Monday morning on The Drive. But for now, enjoy the rest of your weekend. We'll talk to you later.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with taco night on Mondays or whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
Buckle up and hang on. This is going to be a good one.
The fans of Kansas Speedway know how to have a good time. One that celebrates fantastic finishes.
Crash together. So close.
And family-friendly facilities. Trading paint.
We got feuding.
And tailgating tradition. Burnouts. Beer. And barbecue. Oh, it'll for sure be a good time. And you are all invited. NASCAR weekend at Kansas Speedway, May 9th through the 11th. Get your tickets now at kansasspeedway.com.
Cinco de Mayo is May 5th, but the party starts early this year at Tipsy Tina's Taco Cantina with their street festival on Saturday, May 3rd. Come down to 8th and Q starting at 1 p.m. on May 3rd and see llamas from Sweet and Sassy's Llama Farm until 4 p.m. and enjoy face painting and balloon animals with Miss Shades at 2 p.m. DJ Wyatt will entertain from 6 to 10:30 p.m. There will be drinks, food, and giveaways, and best of all, no cover charge. It's the early Cinco de Mayo Street Festival with Tipsy Tina's Taco Cantina, Saturday, May 3rd, beginning at 1 p.m. at 8th and Q in the Haymarket.
A lot of businesses say they're family focused, but when tough situations in life arise, the business wants anything but your best interests. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring, and they will always treat their employees like family, just as they do their customers. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring Class A and B CDL drivers, a shop tech, and a diesel mechanic. If you're looking for a career with a company that goes above and beyond to value you and your family, apply today at jamesenterpriseinc.com or call 402-432-6740.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Why are some people more successful? Is it talent and determination, or did they recognize an opportunity? Discover a career that lets you help families reach their financial goals as you build lasting professional relationships, one with unlimited income potential. From Modern Woodman, a leading fraternal financial services provider.
I'm Modern Woodman Regional Director Sean Erickson. Call me at 402-483-6515 to learn about career opportunities.
Modern Woodman of America, touching lives, securing futures.
Hello.
Angela, we have to break up.
But why?
Because you're a robot and I'm just a guy trying to get better internet.
It's Aloe Fiber, isn't it? I always knew you wanted faster speeds. My contract isn't good enough for you.
Face it, Angela, they let me talk to real people.
Press 4 to break my heart. Oh wait, you already did.
Visit aloefiber.com to switch today.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
I tried to hide my cigarette smoking. Then I was rushed into emergency surgery to repair the damage smoking did to my heart. It shocked everyone because they thought I was healthy. Yet because I smoked, I had a severe heart condition that nearly killed me. My tip is, you may be able to hide your smoking from the world, but you can't hide from the damage smoking does to your body.
Call the Nebraska Tobacco Quit Line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW, 1-800-784-8669. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. Spring is here, summer is fast approaching. With weddings, vacations, and weekend getaways on your mind, do not let car issues prevent you from getting where you need to be. Car problems shouldn't be something that you put up with. Let us get you back on the road in comfort and safety. We diagnose all makes and models from Porsches to Hondas, Toyotas, and Chevrolets. We fix a variety of issues with all of them with our talented techs and our experienced staff. A1 Automotive at 11th and L, downtown Lincoln, always honest answers.
When opportunity knocks, you don't want to miss the call. Hamilton Business Technologies makes communication easy and efficient using customized technology, all while putting people first. Whether you're working from the office, at home, or on the go, Hamilton Business Technologies equips your business with the right tools for smooth, professional call handling. Hamilton Business Technologies. Real people, real technology solutions. Learn more at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
We're here for another hour as we celebrate a very unique day in Husker football history, Husker sports history. After all, it is not just a football team that is enjoying the festivities today, though there are football activities going on right now over there at Memorial Stadium. We got another hour to chat about all of it, of course, the NFL draft and anything else that comes to your guys' mind. You guys can text in 402-464-5685 on our Starter Heyman Jewelers text line if you have any thoughts about what we're thinking about or have any questions for myself or DP. I am Jake Bachman in studio with DP, who is a much happier man now after going to the equipment sale earlier today. It's been a heck of a, what do you call this? An experiment to a degree for what Nebraska is trying to replace the spring game with. I got to tell you, feels, the crowd might not be as big as usual, but this feels like a festival. This feels like fun. I think they've done what they were aspiring to do over there at the University of Nebraska. DP, how are you enjoying your day so far?
The day started early. Over at Hawks, 7:15-ish by the time so out the door at 7, walked up to the stadium, got in line, met some really cool people from all over the place. Folks from Kansas, folks from Missouri, folks from Arizona, folks from Texas, folks from Oklahoma, folks from North Carolina who came in just to be a part of the weekend that is. And they were all standing in that long queue to go shopping. And the funny thing is that nobody really knew what we were standing in line for. Like the common theme was, well, I hope this is worth it. And I can say this, I can guarantee you that nobody that stood in that line felt like it was a waste of time when they left the line. Huge space, huge volumes. There was quality and quantity, which, and then I think if folks knew what it was, like if they ever do this again, it'll be bigger, which is fine. But you didn't quite know what my thing was. If I go in here and just let me experience this and let me see what it is. And then if I happen to get my hands on something that I want, cool. I'm not going to shop. It's the experience, meet the people, and go through the process. Then once you got in, Bach, we're old enough that we remember general admission concerts.
Yeah.
Where, first come, first serve, right? Yeah. People stand in line and then the gates open, the doors open, and it's crash and burn. That didn't happen. Husker fans were considerate and kind, and folks walked in, and oddly enough, it was right because there was enough. There were posters, throwback posters from the 80s and 90s. There were pictures from even as far back as the 60s. Husker pictures, when you just go, wow, okay. Chairs, Husker chairs, which were very nice, mind you. And I had to resist because I walked up there and then I knew I had, from the time it opened until the time I left, I had 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So to see it and then to go through and go, okay,
oh, I could actually see some things. And then you start seeing that every size from kids small to adult 4X, every shoe size all the way up to 18. So anything Husker, Adidas was in the building. And the coach and me, I went literally the first table that my eyes were drawn to was the helmet table. And then right next to that was the pants and / shorts table. And I looked and I was just curious, right? But Bach, it was every khaki, long pant, short pant, Husker basketball short that you could possibly imagine. And your head goes, oh. And there's a bit of the Black Friday scavenger hunt, grab, hoard. I didn't want to be the guy that was just grabbing all the big sizes and running off to the side. And then I didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
So, I found some that I'm like, okay, if I'm supposed to have it, I'll have it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm just looking through and it was some really cool designs. And then I forgot, because you start grabbing so much, then I forgot that these pants are only $10.
Yeah. The prices were really good. That's what surprised a lot of people.
Oh, seriously. I mean, we've had texts throughout the course of the afternoon. Hizzlebell was saying, he's got 18 items and he spent $260, right? I mean, the shoes were $20, brand new Adidas shoes.
It's tough to find any shoes for $20.
$20,
Yeah.
right? Every Husker hat you can possibly imagine, $5. Every Husker t-shirt, $5. Pullovers, $20. The jerseys were $50, and I'm mad I didn't get more jerseys because they had the sleeveless baseball jerseys.
Oh, those are good.
Oh, yeah. Bach, I'm mad at myself. I'm mad at myself. To say that, I mean, you could get like a football helmet shell.
Oh, is this the helmet? Was it in studio here?
Right. You can get the helmet. You can get the helmet, just the shell, and then pick the face mask that you wanted to go with it. Or you could pick the completed ones that were already there. That was one that was already there. But there were people who, they were grabbing shells and face masks, visors, right? Helmets with the face masks with the visors. You could design your own helmet.
Oh, yeah.
So to think that there were 1,500 people in line and that most people that I saw, like AD had 3 human handfuls packed between his arms, is looking for a box to go. He said that VJ probably bought 10 pair of shoes, which doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Farley called me once and was like, I'm here, I'm shopping. I'm like, well, anything that fits me that you see, just grab it. Because literally you could have grabbed anything in there in your size and it'd be a thing that you would wear a lot. So kudos to that. I was asked, hey, so I ran into John Cook. He was here. Ran into Coach Danny, ran into Keith Mann, ran into the usual suspects, right? Everybody's there. You're running into Husker athletes. For some, they'd even do shows here. And I'm just like, okay, gotta go. I got to get back to the station. And Bach, I fully confess that I'm aged. I'm vintage now.
Okay.
So running back to the station from Memorial Stadium with my computer bag on my shoulder and a handful, like bags of clothes.
Yeah.
Not ideal.
I said, did you put the helmet on just to get run?
Well, the funny thing is that people see you running, and then there are people who are like, great helmet.
Yeah.
They're like, thanks, gotta go. And when you see Coach Cook and you want to talk, but it was like, gotta go, man. I made it back at 10, right at 10 o'clock. So for the 10 o'clock show. So made it back and caught my breath. Like I needed the full commercial break to catch my breath and get back. But that thing, and they had so many items that I'm not sure how often they would do this. But Bach, the people in the line were talking like this is a once in a lifetime thing. So they treated it as such. They were like, what other opportunity is there to get the stuff that you can get your hands on? And so, yeah, people went hog, man. It was hard. The reports that I've heard, I don't know what you were you up there? Did you?
I was not up there. I did make it to the first part of the game, but everybody's got to choose what part of the Husker games they wanted to do today.
Right.
That was one that I was definitely considering. I went to the USC spring game a couple years ago. Yes, I've been to other college football spring games.
Yeah.
And they had a similar thing, but they had it during the game, which, if you can imagine, LA fans don't care all that much about college sports, let alone spring games for college sports. But they had their largest crowd that day. But it was my favorite part of the spring game. It was cool, and I was glad that they did this at Nebraska. And from the sounds of it, it's an overwhelming success. Like you said, I don't know if they'll do. You wonder how often they do this. If there was stuff that was going back years and years, you might have to wait another maybe 10, 15 years. I don't know, but it is, especially with the prices, which started to come out on Friday. Especially 10, 15 years ago, I don't think the price will be the same. So it probably was a once in a lifetime opportunity there.
Yeah, I wasn't, again, AD and I shared the common feeling, regret, that we didn't buy more stuff. Like, because that was built for us.
Yeah.
To go and get Husker gear, get it at a huge discount, get it all at the same place. So yeah, but I would imagine that it would have had a greater impact had it been the normal spring game. Because if that drew 15%, 20%, 30% of today's crowd, imagine 15, 20, 30% of 50,000.
Yeah.
Shopping. Right? And stunned at how few kids were in there.
Not a lot of kids running around.
No.
Huh?
No, there were not. Those are grown folks. Those are grown folks in there today, man.
Well, good.
Those are grown folks in there today. Yeah. Look,
acting like kids.
Getting up early. Oh, it was Christmas.
Yeah.
It was Christmas. It was Christmas. You can't. It was Christmas in April because you can't, to get access to your team's stuff. It makes sense. And you saw some of the athletes come in. Ja'Cory Barney, who just won the fastest Husker competition. He won the fastest man race today. So
no surprise there. I saw speed on the field last year.
Well, but this is what's funny, right? We fall in love with stats, and all the story of these players ran the fastest 40s and Okay, tell me who the fastest Husker is. Yeah, it's the guy that looks like the fastest in the game.
Did you see, by the way, I got to ask you as a coach, the 50-yard toss from Dylan Raiola, for those that don't know, part of the quarterback competition, into a basketball hoop, I should say, swished it. There's no rim. How impressive is that?
It's a throw that every Division I quarterback should be able to make.
So not as impressive as maybe one would
because you make the throw to throw the fade route, and it literally is to high point it and then have it drop into a trash can or a bucket. Like those throws are practiced in full often. So for him, now it's always impressive when you can do it in competition live. Right. But if you practice it the right way, it's a competition every day. So every day, those quarterbacks, when they go to throw that fade or go to throw that route, there are trash cans at different locations. And if you can drop it into those trash cans and you practice it, drill it as a competition, then today becomes easier. So, we I'm an old receivers coach. I work with Barry Thompson, and his quarterbacks love to throw that ball. And so we would have our receivers run, and they would just run to the trash can, but the quarterbacks would try to throw it into the trash can instead of to the receiver.
Okay.
Right. Right. Like you get used to them competing in the drills, and that's there. So yeah, it's impressive because he did it in a competition. but it's also a thing he should probably be doing pretty regularly.
Yeah, I'm thinking that's probably what's going to probably go viral or kind of stick out about today as far as on the field in there, as well as Matt Rule donating a significant amount to teammates, which was just awesome. The crowd got going for that, which was based off a weightlifting bench press competition. So he had Mike Eckler go in there and earn the money, and then Will Compton to follow him. So it's just been a lot of fun, and this is just a format that I think works. It's something they had to twist to, right, and say, okay, we're going to do this instead of a game, and then after a couple weeks, all right, we're going to play a little bit of a game, and so the game is there, but it's in between all these kind of highlight deals. And Bo Pelini did this years ago. Most people remember Bo Pelini's spring game for lifting a cat out of the tunnel, but actually that spring game was one of my favorites, not for the cat, but because they had these sort of competitions like Kenny Bell's kicking field goals and offensive linemen, catching punts and that sort of thing. I'm sure if they could have redone it, they probably would have never said no. There's not going to be a game. They probably would have formatted a little bit differently to get a bigger crowd in. I'm interested to see how many people end up. I would guess somewhere around 15, 20,000. But we'll see. I don't know exactly what the number is going to be. But I think this worked. I mean, I'm going to be out because the spring game usually, with the football involved, and there's nothing better than football on the field. Don't get me wrong, but right. I mean, you kind of know you're not going to win a game that day. It's going to, one way or the other, the Huskers are going to play. So I like the added element that they've done here of entertainment, keeping competition a big part of it. A big send off. They did this special kind of tribute to players that passed away before the game, and so. I don't know if this is going to be the most overwhelming success or people are going to look at it that way because they didn't quite draw the 50,000 they usually do. But I had one of the most fun times I've ever had at a spring game, and I obviously I had to leave early. But it was just fun. It was just makes you a little bit be able to see outside of just the football, a little bit more personality with the players. What are they good at? What's going to, the team atmosphere around there, obviously bringing in the alumni. We like to see Terrell out there flipping a tire, that sort of thing. I'm not sure if VJ's done his deal yet, but what do you think about the format?
What was VJ going to do? What was he?
He showed me the other day. Now I'd have to think because there's all these.
Well, they had the calf roping,
yeah.
They had that sort of thing.
I think he was going to catch some balls.
Catch punts?
Yeah.
Was he a part of the media who was supposed to catch punts?
Something like that. He's teamed up with DPE, so we'll see what he does there.
Yeah, I would imagine that's them catching punts.
Yeah, something along those lines.
Wasn't invited. Don't know what Carricker's doing. No idea. All I wanted was that a little more explanation was provided.
Hell yeah.
Along the way. That's, let me know what was to be expected. I still think everything that you did, you could have done with the game.
Yeah.
And even if it was just tell me that it's the bottom half of your roster competing for spots, more people are watching. If you tell me that folks are playing for a scholarship, like that would be the easy sell. Right? Because then you have your people that you emotionally invest in. Their families show up because it's them competing for a scholarship. It's the drive for 105, right? So with 130 kids there, the 25 folks, this is it for them. Well, okay, so give me 75 players. And you need to be in two of the best teams, groups at your position to win a job. Okay, everybody watches, everybody, I understand that you don't want people looking in your closet, looking at your clothes, but okay.
Yeah.
I just think as good as it was, it could have been better with an actual, with a meaningful practice, rather than not. But it's I'm not mad at today. Because you got to be there are a ton of Husker fans who got together for a good cause.
Yeah.
And again, Matt Rule donated $130,000 to teammates. Of course, as much as we support teammates and as much as we're a part of it, it's really cool to have them partner up and acknowledge each other. So it's there. And then it's a busy Husker baseball is at 4, softball at 5, Stars at 6.
Volleyball at 7.
Volleyball at 7. Soccer at 4:30. So you've got plenty going on, and it's also a busy week next week. But today, weather held out, although it was really cold this morning. Waiting,
standing in line there, yeah.
Standing in line, standing still is really kind of not fun in the cold. But good people, good conversations. Ran into a lot of folks. Ran into Rico. Ran into Evan Bland. You ran into a bunch of people who were just around it, and it was good to see them.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, well, I do think you're right about, I think this is all, the one problem that I've kind of had with it is that, it like you said, maybe some communication and just kind of figuring out what this was, but they were kind of figuring out as it goes, it seems like. And so it was kind of hard to expect, to know what to expect today. And, right, especially some of the former players we know that, because we, obviously they work here. They didn't know what to expect.
Well,
for
they
a
said,
large part of the week,
they said, I'll let you know when I know.
Yeah.
That seemed to be the ongoing theory in response to, well, what do we expect today? I'll let you know when I know.
Yeah, but I understand that. But then when it's like 3 days, then you're thinking, okay, well, I probably should have got something now. 2 days, you're like, should I still block out time a day before? You know what I'm saying? So it's just kind of interesting to see how they did it. But I will say this, if you haven't seen it too, it's kind of cool how they separated the legends. And again, we got VJ Terrell, Jay Foreman, obviously captain of the black team. Adam was out there. So the players that didn't play were in competition. They said it was going to be Pro Bowl like, and they gave them some nice jerseys with some green numbers, and so you could tell which guys weren't going to play today, but they made them look like the Pro Bowl. So I kind of liked that aspect of it. And then
are they raffling off those jerseys? Is that why they did that?
Probably, maybe at some point they would.
I would think that if they're
doing a lot of raffle. I see that.
Well, if you're going to auction off anything that was worn today, that would be pretty cool. It's another great fundraiser for NIL in 1890. But that's just me giving away $1 million ideas.
Well, I had heard, I do remember being on air with you talking about an auction before, and now I'd seen the auction come out. I do remember mentioning
it's good to know that they pay attention. Yeah. But this is why we keep pitching. We keep pitching, and hopefully things land. Right. It gets to the right ears.
I've been talking about that USC spring game equipment sale for years, so I'm glad to see it finally come around here. Maybe I helped, maybe I didn't. Probably not. But let's go ahead and take a quick break. We still got 2 more segments here of live talk here on Husker games and Husker conversations. We'll do it coming next here on 93.7 The Ticket.
Oliver, left circle, wrister, he scores! Lincoln wins the Anderson Cup. Join us at the Icebox this Friday and Saturday as the Lincoln Stars take on the Waterloo Blackhearts in games 1 and 2 of the Western Conference Finals. The Stars are on the precipice of reaching the Clark Cup final and need your help to have a true home ice advantage. The puck drops at 7:05 Friday night and 6:05 Saturday night. Lock in your seats now at LincolnStars.com.
93.7 The Ticket is your home for every Kansas City Royals baseball game. Bobby Witt Jr., Salvador Perez, Vinny Pasquantino, and the rest of the Royals attempt to make the postseason for the 2nd season in a row. And you can hear all the action on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Your home for Kansas City Royals baseball.
At Valentino's, we're on a mission for tradition. On every slice, for every bite. Golden baked crust, cooked to perfection every time. Savory sweet sauce that's made from our own secret recipe. Loaded with the perfect amount of fresh toppings and melty mozzarella cheese. It's the tradition that Nebraskans have come to love. From game day to every day. Valentino's. Taste the tradition.
Billy Currington is back on tour. Friday, June 13th, Pinewood Bowl Theater in Lincoln's Pioneer Park. Live in concert. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com.
Hey there, fellas. It's your girl Jordan with Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Allow me to get a bit sappy. For women, jewelry isn't just a gift. It's a timeless symbol of love and appreciation. You have to get this right. No fleeting trends or gadgets will make the impact. Every time she wears it, every time she gets a compliment, you win. Trust me, guys, you'll get your money worth. Until next time, this is Jordan at Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Happy shopping, guys.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC in Louisville has experienced hail damage, and there's never been a better time to buy a new or pre-owned vehicle. The hail was very spotty, some pretty light, others heavier, but there are huge discounts right now happening at Koppel. So please do not wait. Get thousands of additional discounts along with 0% APR. There will be a lot of people heading this way to purchase vehicles. So stop on in or check us out online at koppelcars.com. All deals with approved credit.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Mike, I've been thinking our house could really use a makeover. How about new siding?
I've been thinking the same thing. Have you heard of James Hardy?
Yes. Sarah down the street had Roofing Service Company install James Hardy siding on their home, and they love it.
Roofing Service Company does have great reviews.
They took her through the design process and made everything super easy.
Roofing Service Company offers expert design and installation. Couple that with James Hardy's durable products and variety of colors, you and your family will love your exterior remodel. Just visit roofingservicecompany.com. That's roofingservicecompany.com.
Hey, bestie. Whoa, how'd you snag that awesome set of wheels? I'm in the market for a new car, too. My friends at Members Own Credit Union. You're always in the driver's seat when it comes to your finances at Members Own. Always in the driver's seat, huh? Yep. They set you up with a loan that makes sense for your budget with great rates and top-notch customer service to boot. Looks like we're going to need to make a pit stop. Let's go. I'll drive. Hit the road to financial success and explore auto loan options with your best financial friend, Members Own Credit Union. For details, go to membersowncu.org/drive. Federally insured by the NCUA.
All right, we are back here on 93.7 The Ticket, ready to talk more sports with you. We've been going all day. We're calling it Husker Games and Husker Conversations, of course, as we're tracking the Husker games today. Lots going on there. We've talked about that. We'll continue. We'll get back to that here in a second. But we did want to give you a little bit of an update on the NFL draft. I wish I had an update as far as another Husker being drafted, but unfortunately, that is not the case at this point. I think they're in the last compensatory pick of the 6th round. We'll be moving into the 7th round, and we'll see if some names get taken. Obviously, some would say at this point it might be better to not get drafted. You've heard that before as far as being able to pick your destination for free agency. But if I'm going to be honest, there's been a lot of hype around certain guys. Obviously, Tommy Hill early in the year looked like a guy that was going to be picked before this. Thomas Spadoni has, put himself in a position post-Nebraska career that people thought he might have been higher than this. I was a little bit surprised about some of the Huskers and how many Huskers were invited to the Combine. That's not taking a shot at it. It's just looking at it over the years. And so I think that this is, I said it on Friday, so I'll just, pat yourself on the back when you're right, but I wish I was wrong. Is that I think that I wouldn't be shocked if some of these guys fell to the 7th round because they've more fallen into the Tommy Hills, the Nayers, even the Hutmakers, of guys that have the athletic ability that's there, but maybe a little bit underwhelming outside of that. And keep in mind, there's a lot of players, not just in Nebraska, but a lot of NFL players in general here. But I guess all that I'm getting to is I'm not shocked that some of these guys fell to the 7th round. I hope and I think that we will see a Husker or two selected here in the 7th round.
So the best gauge to think of as you head into the final round, and this is the 7th round coming up, that Quinn Ewers is the best available, which is a statement because none of the players we're talking about has as much hype or work production behind them as Quinn Ewers. But okay, fine. Tommy Hill is currently the top-ranked quarterback available. He's the top corner available, number 6 best available overall. So the likelihood that he gets picked here, unless people just don't like the injury aspect of it, is there. And to tell you that to put it on level, Isaiah Bond from Texas, the wide receiver, is the next best available.
Pretty darn good player.
Pretty darn good player along the way. So Joe Huber, the offensive guard from Wisconsin, directly beneath Tommy Hill. So he's in good company. Not far beyond that, at 13 best available overall, 13th best, as the number 2 tight end available is Thomas Fidone, and he's at 13. And again, with 30-some picks, the likelihood that somebody takes a runner on somebody with his size and athletic ability, Fidone strikes me as the guy who you take in because he can make a team playing tight end. He can make a team playing on special teams. He did that here at Nebraska, so it certainly plays out. So that's in play. And then, and again, you're talking about talent, because the edge from Ole Miss, Jared Ivey, who some folks had projected up the 4th round, is directly above him, ahead of Fidone and best available. And Maliki Molovao, the tight end from UCLA, is ranked beneath Fidone.
Oh, right next.
So if that gives you some idea that's how that works. Ben Scott's not on the board. Why? Because you have players like Jake Majors from Texas, all conference guys sitting up there. Brew McCoy is a wide receiver. Joshua Gray from Oregon State. Luke Lachey from Iowa, the tight end, is on the board. So if folks are looking tight end, there are 4 known tight ends.
Pretty good tight ends.
That's it. I mean, those are all 4 guys that, we're not surprised by any of that, right?
Yeah.
So that's there. And then Mackay was Isaiah Nair. He is currently the number 7th ranked receiver left on the board. And to give you some idea, DeQuan Felton from Tech, Restrepo from Miami, who was a known factor, Brew McCoy, Tex Johnson from Oregon. We saw him in big games, so we knew you're familiar with him. And then Dominic Lovett from Georgia. So that's the kind of the block in the space that he's in. He strikes me as being a free agent. Also, he is one that would get a ton of push from the spring leagues, which may be another way for him to go and get pulled in that way. So I would imagine that Fidone and Tommy Hill get picked. Not sure about Ben Scott. Not sure about Nair. But yeah.
Yeah. And Nash has been interesting just because I thought he would get more interest leading up to the draft. Didn't necessarily do that, but was the stalwart here on a pretty darn good rush defense for the last 2 years. So I think he'll get a shot too. A reminder, because there's all these, certainly with the Shedeur drop and all the talk of the NFL draft, that this is not the end of the story. This is the beginning. So whether you get drafted 1st round, 5th round, 7th round, or don't get drafted, it still is the beginning of your story. Approximately 20% of opening day rosters in the NFL come from the undrafted ranks. So this is not the end of the story for guys that don't get drafted, but of course it is a cool story. It's something that people look forward to, fight for, just to say you're a draft pick, your whole career. So hopefully we'll see some of these guys get that opportunity. I did want to ask you real quick about Tommy Hill, because he's really fascinating. Throughout your career, obviously as a coach, or in following football, have you seen plantar fasciitis affect somebody so much, so heavily than Tommy Hill?
It's hard to treat.
Yeah,
it's hard to treat when there's certain injuries that are just recovery only, and you can't go through therapeutically and really change it. There's certain injuries, and they're long term. There's no real how this happened. to get it. Yeah, I bet it is a skill position killer. So yeah, it's the thing. As a matter of fact, Gary Clark from the posse, that was a big part of the stuff that he had to deal with, and also that it also leads to other injuries. So I think somebody will take a runner on him because of the skill and the talent, but also can I point out a thing that just makes my head spin a little bit? The Raiders just took 2 FCS quarterbacks in the same space. If you're Bach, if you're a Raiders fan and Quinn Ewers is on the table and you need a quarterback, wouldn't that have been the guy?
You would think so.
Wouldn't that?
Yeah.
Have been? Maybe you think you can get him anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I saw Graham Mertz get drafted
here we go. Breaking news.
Okay.
A Husker off the board at 219 to the New York Football Giants. Thomas Fedoni, tight end, goes to the Giants at 219. At 219, that still leaves Tommy Hill on the board, but Fedoni to the Giants at 219. So welcome to the NFC East.
I was going to say, you're having the only problem with your days, your rivals are taking the former Huskers. But,
yeah, you know.
But that's a good. You feel like that's a good fit, right? Like we can imagine Thomas Fedoni in a Giants uniform, and we'll be able to see that now coming soon.
Take that. Take that. Doggone it. Like that would be one that you would have. I certainly would have hoped. And they took him over the Alabama tight end, which is that's a statement because those two programs tend to do business. But yeah.
And he is, by the way, this does break the draft streak for Nebraska tight ends. I don't have it right in front of me, but I've been saying this for years. Tracy Wistrom in 2001, I believe, was the last Husker tight end drafted. That's a long time.
So Stoll and none of those guys
Nobody got drafted. Niles Paul did get drafted and turned into a tight end.
Right.
But he was a wide receiver from Nebraska. So you might be able to work some math out there if you really want to stretch it. But for Nebraska, and they've had some good tight ends over that period of time. But, you talk about why they might struggle a little bit in the Big Ten.
None of those big guys got picked.
It's crazy. It's a stat that just it boggles my mind. And now I don't have to say it. Thank God anymore. It's done.
Well, and I have a sneaky suspicion that at 222, if he doesn't get, so it's Patriots, Jaguars, Raiders at 222, Seahawks at 223. Those are great landing spots for Tommy Hill, right? Because he'll be allowed to go in, contribute special teams, be a nickel, find his way up to a nickel or dime corner, allow the injury time to heal and for them to figure out how to maneuver and work him. Of course, NFL teams and their trainers work differently than college often. So that might be a situation for him. But the Patriots are on the clock. So the second Husker off the board finally for Nebraska.
That is good news, and we will take a break on that good news. Hopefully we have more around the corner. We've got one final segment here. This is our Husker Games and Husker Conversation show. We'll be back with more.
Get ready for the largest dirt late model event in Nebraska, race fans. The Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series is heading to Eagle Raceway's High Bank Heist on Thursday, May 15th through Saturday, May 17th. See the greatest dirt late model stars in the country compete for $10,000 to win on both Thursday and Friday, and an enormous $50,000 to win 75-lap main event on Saturday. The High Bank Heist, May 15th through May 17th at Eagle Raceway. For more info, visit eagleraceway.com. Let's go Lucas Oil Late Model Racing. Eagle Raceway, just 10 miles east of Lincoln on O Street. Load up on meat and more this spring at The Mercado by Certified Piedmontese, with great selections of T-bones, tomahawks, ribeyes, filet mignon, brisket, sirloin, and so much more. The Mercado has locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, where you can have $2 draft beer every Thursday night from 4 to 8 p.m. and half-price espresso drinks on Fridays from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Hey, what are you talking about over there? Huh? I said, what are you talking about?
You know, Bill, I think it's time for both of us to get our hearing checked. We should head over to Christensen Hearing Analytics.
Oh, yeah, I've heard about them. They offer a free hearing consultation and screening, affordable hearing aid prices, and a knowledgeable staff with over 30 years of experience.
Visit Christensen Hearing Analytics today in Williamsburg Village or give them a call at 402-489-3450. Christensen Hearing Analytics. A better life starts with better hearing.
Lincoln's go-to for fun isn't new. It's a place that's been a staple of the city for years and is only getting better. Matson's Bowling and Billiards always has open bowling available with no long lines, unlike other centers. They have live music almost every weekend and great food at EJ's Bar and Lounge, with seating for 150 people. They have popular meals like the EJ Burger, pizza for the whole family, and famous EJ's Wings. Contact Sarah to book a party for friends, coworkers, or family at Matson's Bowling and Billiards, just south of 48th and Holdridge.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit ostreetcarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Step into healing at Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery. Our team of top-notch medical professionals turns pain into progress with state-of-the-art treatments and compassionate care. Visit prairieortho.com and discover the difference in quality orthopedic and plastic surgery services tailored to your unique needs. Your health matters, and Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery is dedicated to helping you thrive. Reach your full potential. Embrace a better tomorrow with Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery.
Attention all Wings fans. Buffalo Wings and Rings has daily specials that will make you want to stop in on all days of the week. Kids eat free on Mondays, and on Tuesdays enjoy 40% off boneless or traditional wings at a price that makes the whole family happy. And come back on Wednesdays for $1.39 chicken tenders all day long. Get to Wings and Rings today, 68th and O or in Williamsburg Village.
Nebraska Veterans Aid is here for veterans and dependents facing unforeseen financial emergencies. Get assistance with food, fuel, shelter, clothing, transportation, and even funeral and medical expenses. If you're a veteran facing a financial emergency, apply for Nebraska Veterans Aid through your county veteran service officer. Learn more at veterans.nebraska.gov/NVA. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
I'm softball player Jordy Ball, and my schedule can get a little hectic. From softball practices to going to class, traveling for games, spending time with family, and catching up with friends, I am always on the go. I want a bank that can help me from anywhere, but also be there when I need them. That's Midwest Bank. They have the same mobile banking technology as those big banks, but have that hometown feel that I like every time I walk through the doors. They make banking easy no matter where I am. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
We are back here on Husker Games and Husker Conversations. Obviously, as we're tracking Husker games over there at Memorial Stadium. Myself, Jake Bachman, and DP in here with you for about 7-8 more minutes. We did announce just before we left that Thomas Fedoni became the second Husker drafted today, this time in the 7th round by the New York Giants. Now still looking to see if another Husker gets picked here in the 7th round. There were 41 picks in the 7th round because of compensatory picks. So
35 more picks remaining, 34. Tommy Hill is the best corner available. It's the Texans who like his size. They like his ability to move and play. And then, of course, you could go. Naor is currently there are too many similars, but he's the number 7th ranked best available wide receiver on the clock. So I would think that Tommy goes in this round, then we would cross fingers for Naor.
Yeah, I am. And like I said before, there's going to be a lot of good undrafted free agents out of this class.
Quinn Ewers, man.
Quinn Ewers might be one of them.
That is
somehow.
That is you beat out. And I think it's fair to say that Arch Manning is going to be a first-round draft pick, not having played much. And Quinn Ewers beat him out and couldn't get drafted.
And he's been part of the renaissance at Texas. I mean, of course, it just takes a few years, and you think, well, Texas has always been good. They've had their struggles over the last decade plus, and he's been a big part of turning that around. It's crazy because, remember, there was a time where he was getting maybe evaluations and was trying to decide whether to go pro or to stay and enter the transfer portal because it was Arch Manning's time at
More
Texas.
money in the transfer portal,
And it
100%.
looks like now, yeah. The
Bach,
transfer portal
your
would have been a better
Cardinals
option.
are up.
Here we go.
Your Cardinals are up. Best available, Quinn Ewers.
Ooh.
Best fit, Bond, wide receiver, Texas.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that one. Need some more weapons for Kyler out there. Marvin Harrison can't do it by himself.
But would you be? I mean, wouldn't be terrible to have Quinn Ewers as Murray's backup, right?
No, wouldn't be bad at all. They just got Brissett, which is a pretty good backup, but a limited upside, I suppose. He's kind of going toward the back half of his career.
Bro. Come on,
They
bro.
drafted Clayton Tune a couple years ago.
Come on,
but yeah, I'd take Quinn Ewers. Because I think it's a pretty good value pick there.
Oh, Bach, come on, man. There's Jacoby Brissett takes heat. Man, that dude catches strays all the time.
Well, he's worn a lot of different jerseys over the years.
He
but,
really,
at least he
really
keeps getting
has.
good work out
So
there.
it says the pick is in. We're waiting for that. But Bach, it's going to be. Tommy Hill probably goes shortly. The hope is that he goes before 5:00.
Yeah, we only got about 5 or 6 minutes here.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
did see, just like running through Twitter here, Sean Callahan didn't catch his punt. I don't know how many you got, but the one that they tweeted out, he did not catch.
Bach, are you surprised?
Not completely surprised.
Are you surprised?
Now, I have heard from Adam Kierker that he's a black belt, so he's got some skills in him. Punt returning doesn't appear to be the best one.
I'm not mad at nobody doing their thing. I'm not mad at nobody. DeMornay was around. I would imagine that for media, they could have let one of the all-time greats represent the ticket and go out there and catch some punts.
Yeah, I think that was one thing that a lot of people were hoping, right, is for that 7-on-7 game or whatever media. Not so much media. I mean, the former players. And they've been kind of put into these competitions, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's been helpful and it's been cool. Again, I was there for Terrell Farley flipping the Tyler around with 3 current players and helping lead the black team to a victory there. But man, it would have been cool because the way that they kind of set it up was obviously Will Compton against Jay Foreman. You know, you're dealing with older guys. Maybe they don't want to get embarrassed. Maybe they don't want to get hurt. Whatever it might be.
Jay said it out loud. Man, I'm too old to be out here
Right, there's
doing all this. Doing all this crazy stuff, man. You kidding
But
me?
I was really looking forward to a short period of former players against each other. But
No, sir.
it did not happen.
No, sir. No, sir. Look, man, where's the standing sideline? That's where we need to be.
It looks like, most importantly, David Borkers has won the wing off challenge. I don't know how many he got, but that was I think that was the end of it. So I'll have to keep and see.
They did
what
not
have
take
going.
either. You gotta let's see here. Who did the Cardinals get? They didn't take either Longhorn. They didn't take a Longhorn. I'm slightly surprised by that. I'm surprised by that. They took Keaton Crawford from Nevada.
Have to look into him. Don't know much
Safety.
about him, but
Safety.
okay. Well, there
Safety.
you go.
Steelers, Niners, Patriots, Steelers again. So I would think that Tommy, you know what would be cool? The Dolphins are at 231. Let him go to Jake Sorensen. How's that?
Well, we've got a pretty good, if you kind of look at it, Steelers, of course, AD would be happy with him. Lions. I think Nick is a fan of the Lions. He's just
and then of course
inherited them lately.
Austin and the Colts follow the Dolphins.
Yeah, so the last 7 picks are here. If Tommy Hill gets
yeah.
drafted,
Oh no, and then the Bears at 233. Harrison's a big.
There we go.
Yeah, there's a chance for this to run, but let's get him off the board and get him. The pick is in for the Steelers. I will give it to you as we go. But yeah, it's going to be a full night. Volleyball 7:00. Stars at 6:00 here on the ticket, so you'll be able to follow that. Baseball and softball first pitch out west at 5 o'clock. So, and then baseball, I believe baseball has already done first pitch. So,
okay.
It should be an interesting rest of the evening here in Lincoln.
That's right. Once again, I think the Husker games have been a great success. We'll see if they happen next year. Who knows what college football looks like a year from now. But as for this year and for all the moving parts, I think they did a great job with that. I know we've done a great job here at 93.7 The Ticket. Hopefully you've been listening to our coverage all day long. And we'll talk to you more. We got Stars hockey on tonight, specifically playoffs. So get ready to listen to some Stars hockey as well here just around the corner. But wanted to thank everybody once again for their time today here at 93.7 The Ticket. All the listeners for texting in and engaging with us throughout the afternoon. DP, I'll let you get the last word. 10 seconds.
Let's go volleyball.
There we go.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers